Alright, test. Let me make sure this is actually working this time. Last time it was not. Which was yesterday. Or today, I guess. Which was yesterday. Or today, I guess. I didn't crop that very good today. I'll fix that at some point. Alright, test. Let me make sure. Alright, that's something. Alright, what's going on, y'all? Real quick, if you're new to the YouTube side of things, make sure you subscribe. Much appreciated. I'm trying to hit 1K. Everyone over on Kick, please follow and subscribe as well. Much appreciated. I can't read Kick chat at the same time as YouTube chat, so gotta bear with me with that. Anyway, let me drink some water here real quick. And yes, I know it's late, so this probably won't be a long video at all, but bear with me here. Okay, so before we get into it, I don't even know if we're even gonna do anything yet, because I don't know what to do yet, to be honest. But I just want to talk about, the New Year's video real quick, and I just want to say, I'm sorry if I, concerned anyone or anything, by anything I said. I was just sort of speaking at the top of my head and whatnot, just whatever thoughts came to mind at the time. Just sort of free flowing and whatnot. So, I apologize if I worried any of you or anything, Everything I said still stands, to be fair. I believe what I say to be true. For the most part, some things may change here and there. I don't know, I can't predict the future or anything, but, the way I feel, what I said, I do believe it to be true. Not, the bad parts, where, I said certain things, which may not be true, because again, I can't predict the future, but I'm still a firm believer that this year is, life or death kind of situation for me, to be honest. That's just how I feel about it, I don't want to, alarm anyone or anything, it's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to cause, panic or anything. That's just how I feel, and I'm not going to hide the way I feel about shit. Because what's the point, But, yeah, that's just how I'm feeling about it. But yeah, in terms of anything I said, I didn't mean to worry anyone or anything like that. That wasn't my intention. I just wanted to recap the past 5 years, talk about the things I never really talked about much, because usually I'm good for that. I make a lot of updates and recaps and stuff like that. It's kind of what we're used to. And then the past 5 years, I just didn't really do that. And you can understand why after that video that lasted over 5 hours, where I just talked the entire time for over 5 hours straight. For the most part, took a few minutes here and there to just catch my breath and whatnot, but sorry, I gotta drink a lot of water now that my stomach's feeling a little bit better. It's still not perfect, but it's getting there, thankfully. I know it's taken a while. I don't know why my neck's hurting. That's not a good time for that to be happening. Why is that happening now? That's so random. The moment I start, my neck starts hurting. It's crazy. Can't predict that. Anyway. Yeah. I know it's a long video. Most people won't watch it. There's no tags or anything like that. I just left it the way it is, and I tend to just keep it that way. So I'm not trying to clickbait anyone, or, there's no ads or anything. Not that I have ads right now anyways, but it's just one of those moments where I just, open the, excuse me, the window of my life or whatever, so you can experience everything that's been going on, you know? It's been a while since we've done that. I know there wasn't a lot of good things to talk about, I know. The past 5 years have been rough. Very rough. That's an understatement. But, you know what I mean. So, again, I just apologize if anyone is concerned or worried or anything like that. That wasn't my intention going into it. I was just speaking at the top of my head and whatnot. That being said, though, I do believe, again, that this year is do or die, life or death, Again, that might just be me. I don't know. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how this turns out. But yeah, that's my motivation for the most part. And we talked about, some like little tidbits here and there about like the past 15 years rather than the past 5 years, just to sort of align all the stories together and whatnot. I won't get into it. You can watch that video if you want to, hear everything that's happened the past 5 years and update yourself and why things aren't the way they used to be and why I'm just like not the same person I was before. Like, I'm still me, but like I'm a lot more like turtled up, I guess you could call it, just kind of staying to myself, doing my own thing, keep my head down and whatever, which again isn't normal. Usually I'm like outgoing, cheerful, charismatic and whatnot. But that's just not the cards I was dealt the past 5 years, Just kind of trying to win the game, if you will, the best I can with the hand I was dealt. So yeah. Anyway, that aside, I think it was around Christmas time when I sort of hinted at the idea that I would like to make a content schedule just so we can stay on track of things and people know like what to expect throughout the week and whatnot. So I do want to brush over that a little bit. The schedule doesn't have to be finite. It doesn't have to be permanent by any means. It's just something to follow, like a guideline sort of thing, Some days I might miss, or some days I might want to do something else. It's just the way it is as a content creator. I'm always thinking about ideas all the time that I want to do. And it's hard to try and do everything all the time, just as a one-man army, It'll be easier in the future when I'm able to like have a better setup and editors and whatnot. It'd be a lot easier. Because then I could just make the content itself, and everything else someone else can do, Like I can do the most important part, which is like the title, thumbnail, and the actual video itself, basically. Whenever that time comes, I'll probably put up some applications or something. I can't put a time frame on when that will be, That could be like 6 months, 12 months, fucking 24 months from now. Who knows? I don't know. It all depends on what happens, But that is a thought to just sort of keep in the back of your mind for now. If you're interested in that sort of thing. Back in our peak during like 2017, I had this one guy that wanted to be my editor, and to like see what he was capable of, I did the Joy of Creation series, which was like a FNAF fan game, which by the way was re-released I think like a couple of years ago, and it's completely different now. So maybe that video will gain traction one day because it's different than the actual version that's public now. But no, this one guy wanted to be my editor, so we did that series to sort of test him out, see what he's able to do. And he did pretty good, like he could have done a little bit better in some parts. If this guy still watches my videos at all, I doubt he does. But then it was like a matter of financial stuff, you know? Like, he doesn't want to edit videos if he's not going to get paid for it. But at the same time, I can't pay people for it if the channel's not making any money at the moment, you know? So it kind of came down to, like, it's either you look somewhere else or you do it for free until we're in a position to be able to, like, give you money for it, basically. So obviously, he went his own direction, of course. But that was the first time someone came up to me. It's like, I want to edit videos for you. I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So, in the future, that'll definitely be something I'll look at. Same with, like, thumbnail designers or something like that as well. Maybe even, like, I was going to say, like, an idea person to, like, come up with ideas, but that's kind of the whole main part of being a content creator. It's coming up with ideas and then creating those ideas, But, like, an editor or something and, like, a thumbnail person and someone to just, like, upload the videos or even schedule them would be good in the future. Because that stuff takes a lot of time, too. And that way I could just focus on actually just creating the content itself. But anyway, let's talk about like content schedules. And this is just for the YouTube and Kick side of things. I do want to have a whole social media type of schedule as well. It just feels like it makes sense to do that at the same time. I haven't gotten that far yet. But that will be, I'll be working that over the next couple of days to figure out what I can do for that. Because I don't want my social medias to just be promoting my YouTube or like Kick channels, because that's not really good for them. I need to have like my own style of content in those formats. And then tell people like, hey, I have a YouTube channel, come subscribe or whatever, That being said, though, because I've narrowed our series down quite a bit, because I was just trying to do way too much all the time, and not that my Xbox has enough fucking storage for a lot anyway, but as you can see, I literally just have these 4, plus like the PS2 stuff and whatnot. So it did make this a little bit easier to sort of formulate, a pathway to follow for this. Going into the, this new year and whatnot. And again, this is not final. This can change at any point. Some days I might miss, or some days I might want to do something just different. That's just the way it is. But again, this is more of a guideline to follow. So on Mondays, we'll probably do like Minecraft or something chill, talk about like the weekend and whatnot, the past week, and sort of get ready for the week to come and whatnot. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I feel like it would be a good time to do our throwback style of content that I'm doing with like the PS2 stuff and even like the Pokemon stuff, because it's been a while since we made an episode for that. So I figured that's a good way to do that. It'll depend on what I'm feeling that day, if I want to do like PS2 or Pokemon content, but Tuesdays and Thursdays seem to be the best times to do that just at the moment. Because we have a lot to catch up on for that. And I'll probably rename it something, because it was supposed to be the 12-year celebration. And I was jokingly saying this is going to become a 13-year celebration if this takes too long. And sure enough, we're like, I think my channel anniversary is in February, I think. I could be wrong, but it's definitely turning into what I was joking about. And then the Pokemon stuff is just kind of whenever I'm feeling it, because I get that urge to. And then I do it for a little bit, and then I want to like take a break and whatnot. But for that, I want to do the classic generations that I've been trying to do for like 6 years now, with the series that I think I'm calling The Legend of Pokemon. I've been trying to come up with a different title for the longest time, but this is the only title that like really strikes me Like, like it just sounds good. It's easy to remember and stuff, so I try to think of other names and I just can't. So there's been a lot of iterations of that, but I technically have all the footage from the Gen 1 games, Red, Blue, and Yellow. I think it was Blue that we have the entire footage of. So I added that into the playlist, and now we're jumping over to... See, here's the thing, right? I wanted to do it per generation of game, but I feel like that's too much. So I'm doing it based on every region they're based on. So like Kanto, Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, Leaf Green, and then the Let's Go games. And then Johto would be like Gold and Silver or Hard Gold and Silver kind of thing. I just feel like it was easier to do it that way because I like to do the more modern versions if possible. Aside from the fact I sold my Switch, so we're gonna have to wait for that for the newer ones. But that's sort of the path I wanted to go down. And then if some games just can't run good because like they're too complex, then I'll dumb it down a version or whatever. So like, for example, for the Hoenn games, if Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire doesn't run good, then I'll like record Emerald or something. But that's just the way I kind of wanted to do it, just to go through all the regions. Because I've just been doing that since a kid. Because I started with the Sinnoh games, and then I went back to the original ones. Because I liked it that much, I wanted to see what it was all about. So, yeah, the PS2 games, the sort of, experience what I experienced as a child, see if they hold up at all, or if they were just really trash and I had bad taste, and then the Pokemon style content. And I might throw some Pokemon MMO in there, maybe, if I can record it, like actually record it, because live streaming it doesn't work, unfortunately, because my computer just sucks. So I might have to wait to get a better computer for that, I don't know. But that's something I've also wanted to look into, because it's the first 5 generations of the Pokemon games, basically, but like online, with other people. And like a lot of other people. I'm amazed this game still has so many people in it. It's kind of insane. It's a very dedicated fan base to that. And it always kind of threw me off a little bit, because something just didn't feel right about it. Like that uncanny valley sort of feeling a little bit, but it is something I'd like to look into if I'm able to. And I did try to record a video over the holidays, but the recording actually stopped after 5 seconds, so I made it past the first gym, and that was it. And then realized the recording wasn't actually recording any of it. And I don't know if I want to restart again or not. The issue with the Pokemon series, though, is that I don't really know how to commentate over it anymore. Kind of like with like the Minecraft-style content. It's just been that long that I just don't know how to commentate over it. Because it's a lot more like laid back and whatnot. I just want to be like describing what you're seeing the entire time, because obviously you can see it, So we'll figure that out when we get to it. And then Wednesdays, sticking on theme with matching, the starting letter with days. I figured Wednesday would be a good time for Warframe content. Even though a lot of things happen on like Thursdays and weekends, like in game wise, but if we need to do something during another day, then obviously I'll just do that. But I feel like Wednesdays just kind of makes sense. It's easy to remember, kind of like Mondays with Minecraft and whatnot. Just easy to remember because they match each other. The issue with that, though, is I'm trying to do 2 different styles of content for that. I'm trying to do the literal impossible, and that's to 100% the game before the next update, which is basically literally impossible. But I figure no one else is making content like that, so I wanted to be the first to do that. And you can get burnt out really easily, to be honest. That's why I took a break at the end of Season 1. And then I tried to come back for Season 2, and then I was like, now is not the time right now to do that. So sticking with the day of the week for that might make that a little bit easier, because there's obviously a 6-day break in between episodes. But I'm also trying to do a... YouTube came out with courses pretty recently, so I wanted to figure out a way to sort of learn how to use that. And teaching people how to play Warframe and how to do things in Warframe and whatnot was sort of like my avenue for that. Because Warframe was one of those games that I always just kind of like taught people how to do. We had like a whole Noob to Pro series and whatnot back in the day. So I figured that was a good way to do that before I can get into other stuff, like how to be a professional Marvel Rivals player or something like that, or like a Fortnite player or whatever, win tournaments or whatnot, you know? So sort of like my gateway into that a little bit. Sorry, I gotta drink so much water. And then again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, PS2 style content, or Pokemon content. And then I'm sure you could have guessed by now, but Friday is going to be for Fortnite style content. I don't know if that's going to be like dev videos, or I'm like working on my new map, or I'm just checking things out, because there's a lot of different modes, a lot of different quests. You know, I'm trying to level up fully, you know, because my crew's going to run out in like 10 days. So that'll probably be mostly just like grinding stuff, since I don't want to try to go like professional at Fortnite anymore, because I just don't think I'm capable of that. Something like Marvel Rivals I'm a lot more capable of to go like professional and like win tournaments and stuff, because I played a lot of Overwatch back in high school. It's basically the same thing, just with Marvel's characters, so I'm actually pretty good at it. I'm not the best by any means at all, and there's been a lot of downtime from me like coming back to the game here and there, and I sort of want to do that better, because obviously the issue with Fortnite, right, was the fact I didn't like building. And then they came out with no build, and I was like, oh, this is so much better, and they had tournaments for that, to like get prize money and stuff. And then they got rid of it, because like there's a lack of skill involved, basically, even though it's what every Battle Royale does. You're the only one that has building, so bring it back, please. That'd be nice. I get where they're coming from, though. But the issue is I didn't build for that entire time, and it's been like 7 or 8 years that this shit's been out. So there's a giant skill gap there that is 100% impossible for me to catch up to. I'll never catch up to these professional people anymore. This would be like me walking onto the court of like an NBA team, being like, let me outpace you in what you've been doing for like 12 years straight, training like every day for, and then I get my ass kicked, basically, you know? I don't stand a chance against those guys, because I know nothing about it. I don't even have a team, obviously, but, you know. But something like Marvel Rivals, I do stand a chance in, and it's only been a year. And I've played for most of the year, and I kept up with actual professionals and whatnot, learning metas and counters and optimizations and all that kind of stuff. So I've been keeping up with it. I just haven't been actually quote-unquote training, you know? So yeah, speaking of that, segueing into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I figured that's a good time for Marvel Rivals content, because that's when most people are doing it, to be honest. And Deadpool is coming out on the 16th, who might be my favorite person ever, depending on how he plays. So I'm excited for that. I haven't found someone that really strikes me yet. Aside from Blade, Blade's cool, but like in a competitive setting, I don't think it'd be good. It's like when I was playing Squirrel Girl last time, in the last video we did. Because I was just going through all the characters, because I never used all of them before. I was figuring out, like, who I enjoy playing as. And Squirrel Girl is one of those characters where, like, yeah, on a public match, it's easy, because everyone just groups together and no one knows what's happening. So you can just kill the enemy team just over and over again. Or even, like, Moon Knight as well, because everyone just stays huddled together, just, like, panicking the entire time. But when you go into competitive, people have a fucking brain. You know, not to say everyone in quick matches doesn't have a brain. Some of them do. Most of them don't, though. To be fair, they're just there to just dopamine overload and have a good time or whatever and play with friends. But from a competitive standpoint, people know their roles. They know when they need to flank. They know when they need to like fly. They know when they need to touch the point and let the rest of your team die. Or, have your tank push the enemy team back while someone stays back on point and stuff like that. Like they actually know what the fuck they're doing. So characters like Squirrel Girl, Moon Knight, or even Blade are a lot harder to use because the team isn't just sticking together the entire time unless they need to, because people are actually sticking with their roles. I think obviously the job of a flanker is to go behind the enemy team and then like take out healers and stuff to give the front line the advantage so their tanks aren't getting healed, and then you can push on them and stuff like that. I'm sure it sounds complicated to some people, but when you've been playing sort of style of games like that, you get used to it pretty quickly. I can say that for Pokemon too, and Pokemon's one of the most complicated games in human history. And I know almost everything about it is crazy. It's kind of embarrassing, but not, because I wanted to be competitive in that too for a long time. Just never got around to it. Maybe that can change in the future with the new battle system that's implemented and whatnot. I think they're releasing like a competitive focus game at some point as well. So maybe that can change. I don't know. I'd still like to. It's kind of just the way we grew up if you ever watched the show as a kid, you want to be the best kind of thing, So, still got that drive to do that at some point if all goes well. I don't know. Really depends on the current state of everything. I'm just waiting for them to get their shit together. Because, wow, ever since, like, after Sword and Shield, everything has just kind of went to shit for them. The games look like they should have came out in, like, 2005. Versus before, they looked great, they ran great, everything was great, and then they're just giving us shit and charging, like, $90 for it. I haven't seen ZA. I mean, I've seen the first, like, 4 hours of ZA or whatever, and it looks good. But, again, that's like literally condensed to just a city. Just one single city. And Pokemon games are traveling around, like, the whole country. So, maybe they'll get their shit together with the Generation 10 or something. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm waiting for that. It's for them to figure their shit out a little bit. But yeah, that's sort of the schedule I want to focus on. Try to stick with that. This covers everything we're basically trying to do right now anyways. And then, whenever those end, I can add more into some of them. Like Minecraft doesn't really have an end to it. Fortnite doesn't have an end to it. Marvel Rivals doesn't have an end to it. Warframe technically has an end. Technically. This is what the challenge I'm doing. That no one else is brave enough to try. I'd like to also speedrun that at some point too, because I haven't seen anything about that yet either. If someone's speedrun, like going through all the nodes and the planets and the story beats and whatnot. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that yet, so I feel like that could be cool too, at some point. Sort of set the threshold for that. That could be cool, maybe, I don't know. Maybe that could be a reward for trying to 100% it. It's very difficult to do, by the way. This shit's been out for a long time, and it's literally impossible. But I've set very specific rules to make it possible. It's just going to take a long time and a lot of effort. And the more time I don't do it, the harder it's going to be, basically. The longer it takes, the more they add. Kind of shit. So it'll be satisfying if it does ever happen. But again, no one else is really doing it because they can't. So I figured I'd be the first to attempt that feat. Aside from literal developers and stuff, they've obviously done that already. But yeah, I'll run over it again very quickly. Mondays, Minecraft. Tuesdays, childhood, reliving my childhood games or Pokemon content. Wednesday, Warframes. Warframe content. Thursdays, again, PS2, Pokemon, Childhood, whatever. Fridays, Fortnite. And then Saturday and Sunday, Marvel Rivals. Because I'm not gonna win tournaments if I continue not to get better at it, you know? And Saturday and Sunday is like the bare minimum. Should be training like 4 or 5 times a week. At least. Bare minimum, you know? These people are putting in like fucking 5+ hours every day. For the most part. Some of them even have like coaches and shit. But again, the skill gap isn't that big right now, and it's something I actually stand a chance at versus like Fortnite. The skill gap was just too big, and I wasn't good at it. And I'm still not great at it either. But yeah, that's what you can expect going into the future. That'll probably start on Monday, I want to say. I would say maybe the weekend, but that really depends on what's happening. But yeah, you can expect this to start taking effect on Monday, or by Monday, I should say. Either or, whichever comes first. And again, this isn't permanent. Stuff can change in the future and whatnot, obviously. You know, some days I might want to do something different just because things are going well or whatever. But it's just something to sort of just give us a little more guidance so I'm not feeling as overwhelmed now that I'm trying to do even more than I was doing the past like 8 months. Which is already a lot, by the way. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes. And in terms of when you can expect these videos, I want to aim between the hours of like 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. Not saying I'm starting at 12, I just mean that's when it will start, is between 12 to 6, you know? And then we just make videos for like an hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be. Versus starting at like 10 o'clock just to do it for like an hour and then go to bed or whatever, you know? Because I can't be ruining my sleep schedule with everything I'm trying to do at the start of this year. Because these first 3 months are going to be the most important. But at least that's what I'm telling myself, and that's what I believe, you know. So I'm going to do everything within my power to make that happen. And again, I'm sorry if that means I literally have to like sell my TV and whatnot to make that happen, you know, I apologize. But that doesn't mean I won't come back after those 3 months are up, you know. Like, if I gotta sacrifice certain things to get into the position I need to be in to make shit happen, then yeah, I will make those sacrifices. That's not an issue at all, you know. I'll literally like sell my fucking bed and sleep on the floor if I have to, you know. I'm okay with that at this point. Whatever it fucking takes to make this happen within 3 months, you know. And if I just have to do a full-on U-turn and do something different, that's fine too. That's just the, you know, that's part of it. If nothing's working, try something else, you know? But I figured if I'm able to wake up at the time I want to wake up at every day, it'll be easier, or no, how do I word this properly? If I'm able to wake up at the time I want to wake up, I figured like between 12 to 6 to start the videos gives me enough time to do everything during the day that I need to do, you know, just from like a personal standpoint, and then, you know, trying to get this business running and a million other things I'm trying to do that I won't even get into, but y'all already heard it during the New Year's video, technically yesterday going into today. Like, I literally have 26 New Year's goals written down. Like, that's insane. Most people stop at 3. But I said, fuck that. I'm gonna keep going until I literally can't think of anything. And I might add more to this, depending on how long some of these take, but trying to do 26 things in 1 year on top of everything else you're trying to do is already just very overwhelming as it is. But I figured, you know, that starting videos between 12 to 6 p.m. should realistically give me enough time to do everything I need to do during the day. So, you know, if that means I have to start at like 6 or 5 or whatever, depending on the day, I'm okay with that. But that is kind of what you can expect, rather than just not knowing when videos are going to happen. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late at night like this, or sometimes there's just nothing, And if I'm going to have those days where there is nothing, I'd like to make posts about it, just to let people kind of know ahead of time, instead of people just sitting in the dark on it, wondering what's happening. I want to keep everyone in the loop again, because that's what we used to do. And again, the past 5 years sort of, ruined everything, but I'm trying to get back to where we were, for the sake of all of us. And, don't get it wrong, I know I'm trying to do a lot on the side of making content instead of just doing content full time, but I'm 25 now, I'm not 15 anymore, like I was. I literally started making content when I was 13, I'm not a kid anymore, I'm an adult, and that means that when you're an adult, you need money to literally live and to survive, and if you don't have money, you just die, because you're thrown onto the streets, and you have no money for food, so you just die, That's the reality of being an adult. If you don't have money, you die. So, again, I apologize that content has, sort of shifted a little bit, and it's not my highest priority, despite the fact that I've been doing this 12 years, and this is what I fucking live for, is making content. Yeah, at the end of the day, this is what I love to do, and I'd love for this to be the only job I have to do, to be honest. But until I have money coming in, paychecks coming in, I'm able to fucking eat healthy again, I'm able to get my life back to normal again, after these past 5 years and whatnot. Technically, it's never been normal, but again, you can watch the video yesterday if you want to hear the whole spiel and hear me get emotional and whatnot, but yeah, until paychecks are coming in, then I have to make some sacrifices. Even if that means just sort of doing the thing I literally live for, and just saving it for later in the day, Not every day we need to be making videos that are 12 hours long, Would I do that if I was capable of doing that? Absolutely, But as it stands right now, it doesn't keep me alive. It keeps me sane, for the most part, for sure, because it's my profession at the end of the day. But it doesn't pay, It hasn't paid for 7 years of the 12 years I've been doing this. And when it did pay, that was like 10 bucks. Like in a year, by the way, because we just didn't have the numbers. But now we have the numbers, but I don't get paid for it. It's a weird thing. YouTube's weird like that. Excuse me. So yeah, that's what you can expect Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then sort of the time frame you can expect content to happen. And again, just to sort of retouch on the fact, when I say 12 to 6 p.m., I don't mean we're starting at 12 and going till 6. Okay? Just want to clarify that. I just mean we're going to start the video between those hours. Just so we're not starting at like the middle of the night, or starting too early when everyone's working and whatnot, Just to balance things out a little bit. So expect to see content starting between 12 to 6. Okay? Cool. Is there anything else I want to touch base on? We talked about the New Year's video that maybe some people have got a little concerned or something about some things I was saying and whatnot. But that was already a hard video to make anyway. Very emotional. Went deep into stuff. A lot of things I just haven't talked about the past 5 years. If you watch that video, you can understand why. It's a long one. Like I said, I talked for 5.5 hours straight, basically, the entire time. With taking like a minute or two here and there to sort of take a little moment. But you can catch up on that if you want to just sort of learn what happened after Year of the Phoenix, that movie that I made. I would love to make a sequel to that movie. I really would, but I have no footage of the past like 5 years. I don't really have much to go off of. But yeah, that's the best I can do. And now I'd like to do like a draw my lifestyle content at some point as well, just like a mini series or something. Just literally going over the past 25 years of my life, start to finish. Or not finish, but start to present. You know? I feel like that could be good for people. Just to understand everything about me. You know? So people aren't like assuming things or whatever. Or just like thinking things that aren't true and whatnot. Just sort of express who I am and what I've been through. Rather than just being this random person that no one knows. That's not true. You guys do know me. The fucking worst years of my life are all there for people to see. So, 12 years of my life is there. That is almost half my life. That is out there for people to witness. So, obviously, I've shared my stories and whatnot, my experiences, ups and downs. We've been through it all. So you guys obviously know that. Back in the day too, I even had someone come up to me. I told this story before. I don't know what day it was or what year it was exactly, but this dude came up to me. And he was like, "My girlfriend loves your YouTube videos. Can we like get a picture with you or something?" And at this point we only had like 400 subscribers or whatever, like sure they were higher quality than most people around that point. But it just made me super uncomfortable. It really did. I'm just like, I don't know who you guys are. I don't know where you came from. Just walk up to me. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you know who I am. I'm not big enough for you to know me like that. I guess maybe word got around at some point or something. I don't know. Of like what I was doing, but yeah, that was like my first interaction with like an actual fan, and I've never felt more uncomfortable in my life because I didn't know what to do. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't know who these people were. I didn't think I was doing good enough for people to like be like, oh my god, this guy's great. I never really thought that back in the day until 2017, 2018 when our content was very good and I was keeping up with like the actual professionals over on YouTube. And then everything went to fucking shit after that. But yeah, it was just a weird interaction that I tell sometimes here and there, because I was like, that was before our peak, and it was just weird. Like our community was just so strong and like together, and people would like ask a lot of questions, and you'd want to know how life was going and stuff, and we would all like do things together. Like it was a good time. Sure, there may have been like 100 of us or whatever, but I mean, there was a community there. And then my life went to shit, and everyone just kind of just went on their own separate ways, basically. And I don't know if that's due to the fact that they just saw me struggling, and they were like, oh, he's not as great as he seems like he is, or whatever. Or maybe if those people felt like I let them down in some sort of way. Like hyping everything up all the time just for life to crash down on you. But that's just life. That's just the way life is. Life crashes down on you sometimes. Did I know that would affect the next 8 years of my life? Not really. I could not have predicted that. And I'm glad we're at the point where, physically, like physical health-wise, I'm doing better, I only got sick once last year, which was good, compared to the 4 years prior to that when I was getting sick every month or two. To the point I can't even get out of bed if I wanted to, and like I'm not eating and whatnot, losing jobs and stuff because I just can't go into fucking work. To the point that my last 3 employers literally had to say, You're not in a condition to work. Take care of yourself. And then, like, maybe we can talk or find somewhere else, you know? Like, it just sucks to hear those words from someone you're relying on to pay your bills and to put food in your house, you know? Like, it sucks to hear those words when they're like, you just can't do this right now, you know? Like, what do you mean I just can't do this right now? I know I'm literally fucking, like, sick and, like, literally fucking dying all the time, you know? But, like, how am I supposed to get better if I don't have fucking money, you know? And sometimes it come down to, like, I just literally don't have the funds to actually get to work, which is what happened with the last 2 jobs I had, I believe. I just, after like a week, I just didn't have money to get there, to get to the next week to get a paycheck, basically. Which would suck, you know? The last one I had, things were actually going well, and I didn't mind it. Aside from, like, the mental breakdown that it caused, for sure. You know, trying to do door-to-door sales, and, you know, learn business and whatnot. But I feel like those mental breakdown I had at the start of the year sort of led me into where I am now with trying to start my own business and stuff. Like, I feel like if I didn't get into that job, and I absolutely suck at it at first, and to have people try to help me, and I'm like, no, I don't want your help. You know, I don't think I would have tried to start my own business and sit down for like 8+ hours a day just learning and writing it all down so I have like my own like encyclopedia to just go back to whenever I have a question or whenever I need to remember something. I could just go back to that. You know, I have hundreds of pages of just lessons that I've written down just so I can go back to them. And unlike school, I'm actually putting this shit to the test. Like, almost immediately, as soon as I learn something, I'm fucking doing it. Within, like, 7 days of learning it, you know? I'm just immediately getting onto it, seeing how it goes, and then I'm learning at the same time as I'm already trying to do it. Learning how to do it better. You know, what else can I do and whatnot. Even when I got sick in November with the Fortnite map I created, I didn't know what I was doing at first. Not at all. But because I was sick to the point I couldn't talk much, and I didn't have the energy to really do anything, and I couldn't really eat much either. It wasn't as bad as the other sicknesses were for like 4 years. You know, I wasn't stuck in bed or anything like that. I was definitely contagious, though. I didn't want to get anyone else sick. But I figured, because I'm able to get out of bed and still able to focus on stuff for the most part, I figured I will learn something I've always wanted to learn about, and that's to make a Fortnite map. Specifically a Call of Duty Zombies style Fortnite map. Which, again, it's not perfect by any means, and there is some issues I need to fix soon for an update, but it's more about the fact that I learned how to do it, and I came out with like a finished project within 30 days, basically. After being a complete beginner. You know, it was more about just proving to myself that I'm able to learn this and I'm able to put it to use immediately. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs involved in that for sure, but you know, it took like the start of December, I think, to release it. I don't remember the exact date I released it, but it released recently, basically. Finally, because there was a lot of other stuff I had to fix and trying to do everything else at the same time that I'm trying to do. But again, the map itself is not perfect. People can do way better than I can. But it's impressive that I learned how to do that, and I was able to actually put it to use within 30 days. And have like a finished product that people can actually check out and play for themselves. You know? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's the first thing I've ever done. But it's impressive that I was able to do that. Something like that can take people months or years to learn. It took me 30 days. Just for one style of map, mind you. I want to learn how to do like tycoons and stuff like that. And then when I upgrade my computer, I could do like more advanced stuff. have like cutscenes and, you know, remodeling and animations and whatnot. Which is something I just can't do on just the regular creative version of it. But yeah. That's what we ran over, and then we, you know, talked about the schedule plan. Specifically the content schedule. I need to make the social media schedule too. I haven't figured that out yet. So hopefully I can figure that out by Monday as well, just so we have everything ready to go. Again, that one will also be more like a guideline too. I'm sure there'll be some days I miss and whatnot, but it'll just be a lot easier to sort of understand like the content I'm trying to make at the time, rather than being in a position like right now where I'm like, I don't know what to make content on. You know, I want to do this, but then it's like, oh, that doesn't make sense because we haven't done this yet or something. Or like, I want to do this, but it's been like 2 months since we've done that kind of thing, and it wouldn't make sense to just kind of start it out of nowhere like that. So again, it's more of a guideline than anything, just to follow. But that should get us in the right direction content-wise, you know? I already have like my weekly schedule that I've been using for 7 months, which I do need to promote at some point, by the way. This shit has changed my fucking life drastically. I can't even put it into words, but the whole... I call it the whiteboard right now, because that's just really what it is, just a whiteboard, but at some point, you know, between the months of like March and April, maybe even May, within those months, I don't know what I was even doing at the time, other than just trying to, you know, figure something out to try and generate some income and whatnot, you know, survive work, because like I'm running out of money to get there because it's not a pay per hour, it's commission based. Again, I liked it, but it just wasn't the right time to be doing that, to be honest. But hold on, I'm losing my train of thought here a little bit. Right, the whiteboard. So I came across this video at some point near those months that was like the billionaires like planning thing, or whatever it was called. Just like how billionaires live their lives and they treat their days and what they do and how they go about it. And I was like, huh, that's really different. No, that's why they're billionaires, because most people aren't doing this. And then I figured out, or I didn't figure out, but I sort of realized, like, most people won't be billionaires. So what if there was a millionaire version of this sort of method that the billionaires are doing that is a little more easier to understand, but still has like the same premise involved? And that's when I came up with this idea with the whiteboard. I mean, you could use it on your phone, a piece of paper, it really doesn't matter. But again, I want to talk about it at some point this year, just because I came up with this idea myself from someone else's idea, totally different method. And then I came up with this method to make it simpler for people, to the point that literally anyone can follow this to literally plan for anything and to actually make it happen. You know? Doesn't matter if you're trying to start a business, if you're planning a marriage, if you're just planning fucking your weekend or whatever, you know? But I think the past 7 months, 8 months, however long it's been, is evident that this shit does work. I literally don't know how this is any different than just your usual, like, to-do list, you know, checking off boxes or whatever. But this works. This keeps you accountable. This keeps you in track with everything. You know what you need to do from the moment you wake up. You know, like, your priorities for the week and things that you have to get done. And if you don't get those done, those don't get removed, and you don't just keep adding more shit to it, because then you fuck yourself up, you know? If you can handle doing more stuff, then obviously go for it, but, you know, this shit actually does work. Something that I created myself, basically, off of someone else's thing that they're doing, and just making it easier and rebranded, basically, but there's a reason why billionaires are doing the more advanced version of this. There's a reason why they're billionaires compared to everyone else. Let me just say that, okay? I'll never be a billionaire by any means. I don't think that's physically possible with how my life has gone, to be fair. But the version I made 100% works, and it can work for any aspect of your life too, like I said, you know? You don't have to do it for what I'm doing it for. You can use it to plan anything. Again, scientifically, I don't know how it works, because you just have your goals, and then your plan to reach those goals, and then like you have your weekly stuff to check off boxes on the plan that get you closer to your goals, you know? And if something's not worth doing, then you don't fucking add it on to there, because what's the point? If it's not benefiting any of these things, then why do it, basically? And yeah, it works, man. It works. I wouldn't have been 7 months deep into trying to start my own online business if it wasn't for this thing that I did myself, which is awesome. And I would like to share that at some point, even though I literally just told you what it is, and you could literally just draw that on a piece of paper, like on your phone or something, literally right now, to do that. But it works if you have discipline, you know? You have to look at it and be like, this is what I need to do. And you have to actually do it. There can't be days where like, oh, I don't want to do that. Because then it's not going to fucking happen ever. You gotta look at it, see what needs to happen, and do it. If you can't do that, then you just probably won't be successful at any point in your life. If everything just makes you uncomfortable. And you're like, oh, I can't do this. This isn't, I don't like it. You know? You're probably not going to make it far in life, to be honest. Unless you like fucking minimum wage or whatever, making like $1,000 a month that barely survive. You know? More power to you if that's what you like to do. But if you want to actually have a better life, a decent life, you know, retire young, be able to do whatever the fuck you want to do, whenever you want to do it, you know, if one year you just want to own a fucking mansions, but like with some palm trees and shit around you, go for it. And then if you're like, oh, I don't really like this, I'm gonna just go move to fucking Tokyo or some shit the next year. You can do that, you know? You're just unlocking the freedom of life. But you have to be willing to sacrifice those days, those months, those years to reach that point. That's why most people, they're not truly free, because they haven't done that yet. And they're too scared to do that. But if you want a better life, I'm just fucking warning you, that's what you gotta do, dude. You gotta have discipline and you gotta make sacrifices. You know? Nothing in life that is easy is worth it. Just straight up. And I'm a prime example of that. If it's easy, it's probably not worth your time. Everything that's hard is actually what's important, you know? And you have to get past that point if you want to be successful and have a better life and whatnot. Or you could just get lucky. That's an option. Some people just get lucky and now their entire career of their life is completely changed. And now, like, they won the lottery or something, you know? If you want to rely on fucking luck, go for it. I guess I'm not going to stop you. I'm just telling you the fucking truth. And if you can't be disciplined and you can't make sacrifices and you can't fucking, you know, show the fuck up when everything in your body's telling you, not today, then it's just never gonna happen, man. It's just never gonna be there. You know? You gotta convince yourself. If sometimes you even gotta lie to yourself, you know? Some days you're like, yeah, I don't want to do it today. Or whatever, you know? Just not feeling it. Then lie to yourself. You know? Just be like, yeah, maybe I'm not feeling it. But what if I became a millionaire if I did it? What if I got the car of my dreams or whatever? You know? I'm just saying, you know? At the end of the day, I think life is all about finding your purpose. Not so much finding it, but creating your purpose, you know? The main purpose of being alive is obviously just to reproduce. That is true for any living creature at all, anywhere. That is their main goal, is survive and reproduce. That is it. And then they die. And that's literally it, dude. That's just create more of yourself and then die. But we're humans. We live longer than most animals, for the most part. We have brains that are able to comprehend things. We're able to think things through. You know, we have an IQ and whatnot, you know. We're capable of processing information. The brain is like a supercomputer. It can do like a million things at one time. You know? And people don't give the brain enough credit for that. Not saying every brain can do that, but like your typical average brain is, you know, just an amazing organ compared to everything else, you know? It controls literally everything. And you don't even have to do anything, you know? Like your heartbeat and stuff, if you had to control that, I'm sure sometimes you would just forget to do it. Because then you gotta think about like blinking, breathing, and just fucking swallowing, and fucking whatever, you know? And controlling all those like different tubes, like fucking closing hatches and whatnot inside your body, so like air doesn't go the wrong way or whatever. Or when you swallow, it just doesn't go into your fucking lungs, you know? Your brain's just doing that for you all the time, without you having to fucking like process anything. So, I'm just saying, most of you are capable of having a better life. You just gotta put your foot down. And understand it's not gonna be easy. But in my opinion, and you can ask yourself this question too, but would you rather have 5 harder years where you're just doing something you don't really want to do, but let's say you get like $10 million out of it, or something crazy, versus wasting 50 years of your life and you're still stuck where you are now, you know? Anyway, that's really about it. I probably should be going to bed soon, I would imagine. I really just wanted to talk about the content schedule going into next week and whatnot, just to give us some solid ground to work with. Sorry, give me a second. There we go. Sorry, my throat's been dry all day, and now my stomach's starting to feel better. Probably because I'm dehydrated as fuck, I'd imagine. Even though I'm trying to drink as much water as possible. But because I've been eating such bland stuff and whatnot, I'm just not drinking as much as I normally would. After my body has just cleared itself out, basically. Like a week ago. The day after Christmas, I think. Like Boxing Day is when the stomach issues started happening. And I don't know what it was. Obviously, it was like illness related for sure. You know, some sort of like food poisoning or something, perhaps. I don't know. But my body caught on to that fast enough and just flushed itself out. Basically, within like 24 hours of whatever happened that I wasn't aware of. And I still have no idea what even happened. But I feel like if my body didn't catch on to that early enough, that I'd probably still be not feeling the greatest. So, we'll see what happens. You know, this could be the calm before the storm type of shit. Maybe I'm gonna get fucking sick again. I don't fucking know. I literally have PTSD from just getting sick from every month or two, so now everything fucking scares me now, dude. Gotta use like hand sanitizer anytime I'm touching anything now. Wash my hands probably way too much every day, you know? If anyone's like coughing too much and sounds like phlegmy or whatever, I'm just like staying away from it, you know? I'm not like a germaphobe by any means. I mean, I've always been scared of like getting sick because I'm scared to fucking die, which is a natural fucking thing, by the way. But the past 4 years of getting sick every month or two and losing jobs to the point I can't even get a fucking proper job anymore, you know, I sort of learned my lessons, and if I see signs, then I just have to act on it, you know? Like if I see someone sick, don't go near them. You know, clean doorknobs and whatnot. You wash clothes more often, whatever, you know? Make sure you're washing your hands all the time. Because when I do get sick, it just lasts too fucking long, and it throws off my entire fucking groove. You know? When I got sick in November, I was sick for like 3 whole weeks. Again, not to the point I'm stuck in bed and I have to be hospitalized like it used to be, but it was still enough to like affect most of the stuff I'm trying to do. You know? November, I had a lot of fucking calls to make by the end of it. And I wasn't able to make a single one of those until the final week in November. And then it was like, oh, it's taking too long. Sorry, man. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Aside from the business writing boot camp and stuff like that, they were very reasonable with me. The most reasonable people I've ever met in my life. And they were like, oh yeah, no, we totally understand that you're sick. It's totally fine. We can literally just send you the recordings of these videos and you can just catch up on your own time. And I'm just like, wow. Why can't anyone else be as like supportive as that? You know? Like that is just perfect, to be honest. Just for them to be so understanding and to be like, you know, here's what you can do on your own time if you miss it. Like that's exactly what I think people should be doing more often of. Instead of just being like, oh, you can't do this. We'll find someone else or whatever, you know. So yeah, that was nice of them for that at least. It's the only real good thing that came out of November, to be honest. Plus the Fortnite map, I guess. Not that it's perfect by any means, it's not crazy or anything, but again, more the fact that I was able to do that after not knowing anything about it. So I think that's cool, you know? Clearly I'm capable of shit if I'm able to just sit down and focus on it. Little to no distractions, you know? That's why my phone is always on silent. And sometimes if I'm just being texted a lot, I just turn my phone screen around for a couple hours. You know? That's just, like, if I get too distracted, then I'm not gonna have that focus that I have. You know? I'm not gonna be in that, like, that flow state the entire time. Which already takes, like, 20 plus minutes to get into as it is, but once you're in it, it's just, you gotta stay focused on it. And, you know, you can go to the washroom and whatnot, or you refill your water and then come back and sort of like reset it pretty quickly, but super big distractions that just get you thinking about something that you're not trying to think about, just really messes up the entire flow, you know? If it's not an emergency, it can probably wait, to be honest, you know? Give it 3 hours. I'm sure it'll be fine, okay? You know, if people don't understand what you're trying to do, then just be honest about it. You know? Maybe you're like me, you're trying to start your own online business, which is already crazy enough because most people are too scared to even try to do that. You know? You gotta remember that, like, I think like 90% of businesses fail within the first, like, year. You know, and they just disappear off the face of the earth. You know, that's a true reality you'll have to face if you're doing something like that. But, you know, it's more about you showed up. You know, you were disciplined to do it. You made sacrifices to make it happen. And maybe you've made some progress, you know? My business is quite literally ready to make money. I just need the money to put into it so I can actually fucking make websites for people. Because right now I can't do that. Like, it's a whole fucking subscription-based thing, you know? I can't log in if I don't have the money to pay for it. That's literally the only thing holding me back. If I had the money to do that, I would have clients already by now. Fucking easily. I'd be calling like 300 people every day, dude. Maybe even more. I don't fucking care. I'll spend 12 hours calling fucking business owners if I have to. You know? And even as I'm just doing like day-to-day stuff, looking at people's websites and whatnot, more times often than not, I'm like, ooh, this loads slower. Ooh, this doesn't look good. Or, oh, this hasn't been updated in like fucking 7 years. Or sometimes some people's websites don't even work. Or maybe it only works on mobile. Or sometimes it doesn't even work on mobile. You know? Like, it's a very real business that people need. That's why there's so much competition involved. But you gotta think about it like this, though, right? Just because there's a lot of competition doesn't mean you can't get paid for it. Okay? Because picture this, right? In America alone, there's like, what, 33 million businesses that don't have a website? Just in America alone, by the way. You know, the United States or whatever. And this number's going up, by the way. Now it's closer to like 34 or 35 million at this point. And then there was like a survey done, and it was like, fucking like 80% of these people want a website within the next like 2 years. Like they have openly said, yeah, we want this business, just not yet. You know? Give us a year, give us 2 years, then we'll want it. Once we're ready for it. You know? That's just America alone, okay? And then just picture, you just grab just 20 of those clients. 20 out of 33 million people. Just 20. Just 20. You're already making over like $10,000 a month, depending on the way you go about it. If you're doing the average price, you're making way more than that. If you're keeping it low to get your foot in the door, you're making around that amount. You know? Like, do I still have that paper in here somewhere? This is why I write everything down and shit, you know? Because I can literally just go pull it out, dude, like a filing cabinet type shit. Let me prove my point here, okay? 20 people, okay? Now, if you were to get one client a month, or no, one client a week, so roughly around 4 clients a month, within 5 months, so less than half a year, you would have 20 clients already paying you for your services, right? There's a lot of competition involved, right? But you have 7 days to get one person. That's more than achievable, you know? And again, you'd be making over, again, depending on how you do it yourself, but you'd be making over $10,000 a month in less than 6 months from just 20 people out of 33 million, and that's just America alone. You know, do the math for your own countries and whatnot. You know, I live in Canada. Our numbers are roughly around the same, though. We have like, I think it's like 15 million. But same concept, though. 80% of those businesses know they need a website. That's just 20 people. 20 people and 5 months of your time. Then you've already changed your life at that point already. All you have to do now is just do maintenance on them. Make sure their websites are ready. Make sure pictures are loading. And that's it. You can really stop working it just after that if you wanted to. Fucking call it quits if you want to. Hire a maintenance guy, give him like fucking whatever, like $1,000 a month. Call it a day. You literally could do that. Or you can get more and more and more. Hire more people to make it easier on you. Then you can get another like physical location and do it all over again. Just keep doing that. And then the best part is, when you're done, you could just sell your business for millions, sometimes even billions of dollars to someone else that wants it. Because you have it all set up and it's generating money. Someone will pay you fucking shit tons of fucking money for something you created. And that might take 5-10 years, depending on how fast you grow. And then after that, you could literally just retire. And then you're done. You don't even have to work anymore if you don't want to. You just sold your business for like $500 million fucking dollars. You know? Shit like that's happening all the time, man. Not to say that if you're doing like an online business, not saying that that will happen for you, you know, I'm not guaranteeing that, but if you play your cards right, you have a lot of money coming in. You don't just stop when the paychecks get big and you keep showing up and doing more, doing better, getting people, training people, you know, stuff like that. Someone will want to buy your business from you at some point. And eventually, you're going to be too old to do basically anything anyways with your business. So you're going to want to sell it at some point anyways. You know? Just a little food for thought. And that's just 5 months of your time that could lead you into that position. And that's with all the competition. There's hundreds of people trying to do that same exact fucking thing. You could do it better though. You could also do it worse. To be fair. But if you do what I'm trying to do, where you're just like, fuck it, I'll do the actual work for free and you just pay maintenance, not many other competitors are doing that. People will charge these people thousands upon thousands of dollars a month just to do the same exact thing that you can do. And you could probably get them a website fully built and everything within like 48 fucking hours. You know? Doesn't take that long if you know what the fuck you're doing. Unless there's like 100 different pages, like a grocery store or something, then obviously it's going to take some time, but your average website, you should be able to do that within like 48 hours, give or take, depending on your skill level. You know? That's to say that the client you got within 7 days, they will have a product and giving you money within the next 7 days after that. And then within those 7 days leading up to them paying you, you would have been getting another client. And just repeating that entire fucking process. You know? Getting one client a fucking week should be the easiest thing fucking ever. Obviously not at first. There's going to be a lot of calling you have to do. Or handing out flyers and whatnot. You know? Depending on the industry you're trying to get into. But like, it's possible and people have fucking done it. And people just look at shit like this and they're like, oh, that's too hard. Or, oh, I don't have time for that. You don't have time to make $10,000+ in 6 months? You know? How good are you getting paid? You know, are you making like 200 grand a year? Then yeah, I totally get it, you know? If you're not making that much, then I don't see the issue, you know? But again, you gotta be disciplined. You gotta show up when you don't want to. You gotta do all the shit you don't want to do. It'll be worth it though. Guaranteed. If you can push through, it'll be hella worth it. And anyone can learn this, dude. I don't care if you're 18 or like fucking 65. You can learn it. It's literally that doable for people. Unless you have like, you know, Down syndrome or something, then you might struggle more than others. But if you're just your average, typical person, you should be able to do it, no problem. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to take months and months and months of you doing something that doesn't pay you? Absolutely. You know, if you have a job, don't just quit your job to try and do this, obviously. You know, but again, if you're able to do that, set that up within a reasonable amount of time, you can change your life within 6 months. Just realistically. Or faster, by the way. If you want to get more than one client a week, then you could do it in like 3 months. Or even 2 months. Or even a month. If you're good enough. You know? Like, it's possible. Just gotta stop doubting yourself about it. Excuse me. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there. I'm very passionate about this sort of stuff at the moment, obviously, and I have been for 7 months. Or because I would have given up a long fucking time ago if I knew it was going to take this long. Well, I'm very passionate about it, though. Because I know what I'm capable of. And again, my own business is ready to make money. I just don't have the money to fucking be able to literally build the packages that I'd be selling. Because it's a whole subscription-based thing, you know? But once I can get the gates open again, I can just walk in, fucking start building shit, then yeah, there shouldn't be a problem after that. You know? Guaranteed like 3 months, maybe 6 months, just to be sure. And to have enough money in the back pocket for like 6 months of that. You know? Even with the cheapest plan, you can get like 2 clients with the cheapest option, which I think is like $50 a month, I think. Somewhere around there for the cheapest option. But 1 client easily pays for the upgraded version of that, you know? Which is like, I think 100 a month is the next tier after that, which comes with basically everything you'll ever fucking need. With 300 plus services you can learn and resell to people, you know? It's just kind of a no-brainer in my opinion, man. It really is. So, obviously, that's the main goal, is to get some money to put into that 3 to 6 months-ish of like the cheapest option. So, you know, $1,000, a little bit less or so. Because, you know, food and bills and stuff on top of that, obviously. But if you can make that happen, and you can get even just 2 clients or more within that time frame, then you will be set up for success, for sure, absolutely. If you're not fucking stupid with money, of course, and you don't spend all of it, and then you're like, oh no, I can't log back in again. But yeah, because you fucking fucked up. Now what? Now clients are gonna leave you because you can't update their fucking shit because you can't even get into it. You know? That doesn't build trust with people if you're bad with money like that. But again, 1 to 2 clients already pays for that. If you have 3 to 4, your business is basically able to pay for itself now. And you're able to actually profit off of it. Fucking hire people and buy food and pay off bills and debt, whatever you may have to do. And then any money after that is just a bonus. You know? You can give that to yourself if you want to, or you can pay employees if you have any. Give them raises. You can put it into like a savings account, an investment account. You know? Whatever you want to do. It's up to you. I won't tell you how to run your fucking business, because that's not my fucking job. It's not... Just putting that out there, you know? That's not the whole point of this. I'm just saying anyone can fucking do it. But most people can't start it. Because it's scary. And it is terrifying. It really is. It's hard. It's a lot of sacrifices you gotta make. There's gonna be mental breakdowns you'll have. Because you'll think you're not good enough. You're gonna have to sit and learn for 8+ hours a day. For weeks on end without a single break. You know? That's just part of it. But again, you ask yourself the question, you know? Would you rather have 5 hard years but come out a fucking multi-millionaire? Or would you rather wait 50 years and realize you're still stuck in the same position you are? And now you have like 5 years left to live, you know? Me personally, and I hope most of you would agree with this, I'd much rather have the 5 harder years to be able to live the rest of my life doing whatever I want to do, you know? So, Crystal Heart was going on. Sorry, I'm just kind of rambling about business stuff. It's getting late. Went on a tangent, my bad. Hope you're doing good, though. Happy New Year. If it's good to you. It's not happy for everyone, but it is what it is. But yeah, sorry, there's nothing really happening. I'm just kind of yapping, talking about New Year's goals and whatnot. Hard stuff going on. Uh, I I don't know what. How do I respond to that? I was just talking about like trying to run your own business isn't easy, but like it's worth it. You know, that's sort of what I was talking about. You got to make like sacrifices in life and be willing to do the hard things to be able to see the better times. I know it's a little weird because you don't know who I am, but the past 7 months, that's what I've been working on, is trying to start my own business, online business to be specific. Yeah, I'll have more to talk about it after that, but yeah, no, the whole main point of this video was just to talk about my content schedule going into the new year and whatnot. I didn't really plan to be talking for this long already. It's already been over an hour, and I'm still trying to find shit to talk about. I probably should go to bed soon, though, to be fair, but I'm just giving my brain time to think about more shit that I want to talk about. Even though yesterday I talked for 5.5 hours fucking straight about the past 5 years. So, I mean, what left is there really for me to talk about, I guess? Not much, to be honest, but anyway, with that being said, I'm going to take a quick minute here, because if I don't, I'll lose my voice and whatnot. And then, yeah, maybe I'll fucking ramble for another 30 minutes, or we will end it off. I don't know what's about to happen, but we'll get to that when we come to that. And I'll probably, play some music for a little bit, for like 10 minutes or so, whenever we end it, just because that's normally what we do. So, I know, it's weird just sitting at the menu like this. I know, I'm sorry, guys, okay? I apologize. Everyone kicked too, I apologize for that, but sometimes I just gotta talk about some stuff for a little bit. Anyway, give me a moment or two, and then, yeah, we'll see what happens after that. Cool, okay. Enjoy the silence for a moment. Don't let it make you crazy. The inner silence. That's kind of funny. Can you hear your heart beating yet, dude? Laying on your pillows and shit. I hate that, by the way, when that happens. That's like the worst thing ever. I apologize. The menu doesn't have fucking sounds. There's nothing I can really do about it. Didn't didn't plan for this video to go out as long as it has already, but we're still here, you know. Though with everything I talked about so far, trying to think of anything else I can mention that I did mention yesterday's video. Um, your tonight is ringing. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. We don't want that. Should I just play like 10 hours of flashbang sound effects? That'll totally help, by the way. Not actually. Don't do that. Don't. Please don't. That's not like actual advice. Don't do that. But yeah, I don't really know what else I can talk about to end this off, really. I just wanted to talk about the content schedule and what you guys can expect and when you can expect videos to happen, you know, with a set time frame and whatnot, instead of just being all over the damn place. I actually wonder, are you going to play more Ratchet and Clank games? Because I think I remember that's when I first saw you pop up. Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah. Yeah, I know I have seen you before. Yeah, I do come back, I do plan to come back, to finish Ratchet and Clank 1. I did do some off-camera stuff where I went to get all the gold bolts off-camera, rather than the final planets that we're on, because there's like 2 more planets to do before the game ends. And I also got the skill points from the planets we've been to as well. So I do plan to come back to that, absolutely. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to happen yet, because I'm just trying to do so much stuff all the time, every day. So it's hard for me to keep track with things, but this new content schedule guideline should make that a little bit easier, because right now we're doing like Sonic Heroes and stuff, but I'd like to go back to that and finish that off, because if I start to feel burnt out on Sonic Heroes or something, then obviously I'd want to mix it up a little bit to sort of counteract that. So, to answer you, yes, I will be coming back to finish that. I don't know if I'll be doing other ones, to be fair, because the whole like PS2 style series that I'm doing was mostly meant for like the games that I played throughout my childhood, to see if they hold up and whatnot, or maybe see if I just had some bad taste as a kid or whatever, but that was the only one I played as a kid. I mean, I played the one Size Matters, I think it was called, but that was like a PSP game or whatever. That wasn't like a full-blown proper Ratchet and Clank game, so I don't know if I'll ever go back to that at any point. But if people want to see that, I mean, absolutely let me know, and I'll think about it for sure. If people want to see that, then absolutely. I can look into the other games or like the main trilogy and stuff like that. But the main point of the PS2 series was just to play the games that I played as a kid for the most part. Right now, I'm playing Tools of Destruction right now. I'm upgrading my weapons to VX on the first world now. Already maxed 5 weapons so far. Well, I played Size Matters on PS2. I played Size Matters on PS2 too. I never did that on the PSP, but I think it was originally a PSP game. Also, Tools of Destruction, I have actually seen gameplay on that. It seems kind of interesting as well. I'm amazed that you leveled up 5 weapons max though already, just on the first planet. That probably takes a while. Just sit there and grind it out. Kind of crazy. That's like some Pokemon stuff right there going on. But yeah, again, if people want to see me play the other versions of those games, the other games in the franchise, then yeah, I'll check those out for sure. If people want to see it, leave a comment or something if you want to see it, or when I do make those videos, just drop likes on them for those specific types of videos. That way I know that people want to see more of that in particular. Don't just leave a like just because. I mean, I appreciate the support regardless, but I do look at that, and if people are liking it a lot, then obviously they enjoyed that and want to see more of that. It was hard as a kid, Size Matters. Actually, it's sort of easy, I found. A farm method. Huh, sick. I know nothing about it. I mean, I've seen gameplay on it, but that was really about it. It seems fun, though. It's very, different compared to, the usual stuff that the Ratchet and Clank universe is used to. I can't remember, though. Is Tools of Destruction, the tower defense style one? Or am I thinking of something different? Because there is like a tower defense style Ratchet and Clank game. And I believe your weapons like level up and stuff in that too. I guess you wouldn't be traveling to different worlds though. I think you do stay in the same world. Maybe I'm getting that confused with something different. Also, I don't remember much about Size Matters as a kid. I just remember being chased by, like, that farming equipment thing. Whatever that's called in real life, I don't remember the term for it. But I just remember that, like, chasing you during, like, one of the chase scenes. And then, like, that little doll person, like, traumatizing you. And that scared me as a kid. Being chased by, like, that farming shit that would, like, grind you up was, like, terrifying to me. So maybe I got some sort of, like, PTSD out of that, because that's the only thing I really remember from it. Aside from, like, Cork and stuff being, like, main characters and whatnot. You farm too many bosses in Camellia, and went fully KO on them. And if I accidentally do, I save immediately before the soul gets to the character. Then when I load the boss, it's still there. I hate that level with the ship lawnmower. Ship lawnmower is a crazy word. I guess that's what it is, though. Seems like you figured out a good method, though. It sounds pretty interesting. Might have to check that out, to be honest. I don't know if you came up with that or someone else, you got it from someone else, I don't know. But it's cool if you figure that out on your own, though. That's pretty sick. But yeah, we'll probably do that sooner than later. Finish the first one, finally. Sorry that I sort of blue-balled everyone with that, and we like got close to the final missions. And then I just kind of disappeared for a little bit and stopped doing it. It's not because I didn't want to finish it. I obviously do, because I enjoy that game in particular, but I just got a lot going on all the time. At the moment, the past 7 months, I've been trying to do way too much every day and whatnot, you know? It's just hard to balance everything at the moment. Until I have paychecks coming in, then I can focus on content more again, like we used to. And have it be proper content that we're used to, you know? 1080p, 60 FPS, fucking studio quality audio and whatnot, professional editing. Like, that's what the channel was born on. And it's weird just to see moments like this, where it's like, my audio sucks. I have to stream everything instead of record it. I can barely edit anything. And if I do, like a 20-minute video takes me like 6 hours to edit just because my computer sucks that much. And like using like Canva, for example, to edit just sucks. It's not fun compared to Sony Vegas Pro that I'm used to, you know? But, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I actually didn't know for sure if I actually found that method or someone didn't, because I learned as I played. At least I had fun farming 20 times multiplier with the Lino. Okay, can I actually start? 4 million bolts. Dude, what? That's crazy. Holy shit. I mean, more power to you. I totally get it. Absolutely. Especially with, like, Pokemon games. There's a lot of grinding involved with that, too. Like, at least the original ones, for the most part, you know? A lot of grinding involved with those. So I could totally relate to them. Not in the same circumstances, I guess. I never grinded in a Ratchet and Clank game before. And I think if I were to, like in the first one, because we're going to need to own, you know, the Rhino at some point, to confirm 100% completion. I feel like, me personally, I would just run through the entire game again, just like saving all my money. That's definitely not the way to do it, and I know there's some like glitch methods you can do, like on the racetrack or whatever, just to get like infinite bolts. But me personally, I feel like that's what I would have done. Is just replay through the entire fucking game again. Now that you own everything, you don't really have to spend more money anymore. Just save it all up. The challenge mode weapons cost a lot. That's why I farmed. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. All the Ratchet and Clank games have like a new game plus style of mode. I know the first one does too, but I think it only makes it harder. I don't think there's like actual like golden weapons or anything like that sort of thing. Maybe there is, and maybe that's why skill points are involved, but or the gold bolts, I guess. I actually don't know. I think the skill points are for like developer stuff and like pictures and drawings and stuff like that. Unless I'm wrong. I have no idea. Maybe skill points don't even do anything. I have no idea. But no, the gold bolts must have to be used for some sort of new game content, right? Because there's not like a shop you go to on like the menu or anything. I'll figure that out when I get there. But I know the newer ones, yeah, they had like different versions of weapons and stuff that cost a lot fucking more, but they're so cool though. They're so cool. Especially like the newest one, like Rift Apart, I think, was the newest one. That looks good. I don't know what the challenge mode would be like, but the skill points depend on the game. Yeah, I figured. Every Ratchet and Clank game just kind of seems like they do their own thing. But I think it was because it was the first one. I don't think they actually really did anything with it, but I could be wrong. We'll figure that out when we get to that point. Yeah, I need to figure out if I have to beat the game 2 times, though, to count towards 100% completion or not. Because sometimes the new game plus mode does come with new stuff, and that does count towards 100% completion. So I kind of want to figure that out before we jump back into it again, just so I know what I'm getting myself into. But I'm under the impression you could do everything besides the Rhino. I mean, you do have to grind for the Rhino for sure, but I feel like once you get everything, plus the Rhino, then there's nothing else to really get. I'm pretty sure the new Game Plus version of the first game is just a harder version. I don't think they really add anything to it. The first, yeah, the gold bulls, they're for gold weapons. Same for Into the Nexus. Oh. So the first one did add different weapons then into the harder version. Or the new Game Plus version. That's good to know, at least. Explains why I never knew what they were for as a kid, because I would just beat it and call it a day. Although I did always find it weird that the game, either you get to choose to restart the game from the beginning, or you can just keep redoing the final boss fight over and over again. But my little child brain, I was like, what's the point of restarting it if I just beat it? It never clued into my mind that there's a whole harder version to discover. And I'm glad that Ratchet and Clank games did that. You know, games like God of War and stuff do that. What's another game that did that recently? That we did? I'm not sure. I want to say it was Liza P that had like a new game plus. No, I think it was Jedi Fallen Order that had the new game plus mode. I don't think that actually made it harder though. It just gave you like that red lightsaber and like a dark side outfit. And there was like new cosmetics and stuff to get, but I don't think the game is actually any harder than it was. But I wouldn't know since I played it on the hardest difficulty without trying to die one time because I'm crazy, I guess. Going commando, the bolts are for modifying your weapons. Require you going for 100% completion, otherwise it makes it powerful. I didn't even know the third one had costumes, to be honest. I know the second one introduced it like the weapon upgrade system, basically. It was more like different abilities that your weapons can do more than anything, but No, I never knew the third one had costumes, though. I never seen those before. They probably don't look great, to be honest, but you never know. Tools of Destruction outfits look pretty damn good, though. Makes and match like armor pieces and stuff, which I think is the only game you can do that in. I don't even think in the newest one you can like mix and match pieces of armor and whatnot. Ooh, the ninja costume, that sounds cool. Love ninjas. Maybe that's because they have swords and stuff, though, like throwing stars. Shurikens, if you will. And dragons, I guess. If there's a ninja, there's usually dragons involved. But like Ratchet in a ninja costume, dude, though, that might go crazy. I might have to play these other versions just to see like the cosmetic differences. I've only seen him in green fucking shorts and a space helmet. That's about it. I haven't seen him all suited up. It would be better if they would let you mix and match pieces more often, though. I feel like that'd be cool. Not that a lot of it would look good if you mix and match it, but I mean, you can get some cool combinations out of it, though. It would be cool if they did that more often. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. That's also good to know. Old games back in the day used to like combine like secrets together to like unlock cool stuff in like the other games. It's good. It's weird to know that they did that way back then, though, during like the PSP days. They might have been one of the first people to do that, to be honest. But that's cool, though. I have no idea what it looks like, so I don't know if it's actually worth it to do that, but it's cool to see games like back then do that sort of thing. Which I guess was the only time games really did that. It's not like you really see that much anymore, to be honest. Unless it's fucking Call of Duty, I guess, or some shit, but now all the unique stuff is all about like Twitch raids and whatever. They're not even called raids, are they? Twitch drops, that's what it is. Kick has drops too, but it's only Rust at the moment because they just came out with it, so. And I don't play Rust. And even if I did, I don't think anyone really cares about a rusty weapon or whatever. I don't think anyone really cares about that. Maybe they do, I don't know. Insomniac was very clever on making their mini version of their studio. You can go to for behind the scenes stuff they did. Huh. I forgot Insomniac made those games, dude. Oh my god, I love Insomniac, bro. The fucking new Spider-Man games that came out, I think the first one might have been like 2016, and maybe I'm just way fucking behind. I feel like it was 2018 though, but fucking Spider-Man 1, the Miles Morales like mini game, and then like fucking Spider-Man 2 are like some of the best video games just ever in this day and age. God, they look so good. I want a PlayStation 5 so bad just to play those. Does Insomniac also do God of War? Like the newest God of War? I don't think they do. But if they do, then that you know, my point still stands. Because the newest God of War game also is just one of the best games ever. I've never played it. I watched Jacksepticeye play all of these things, but just off of that alone, they win Game of the Year in my mind every time. But yeah, hopefully I could do that this year too, before everyone forgets about those games existing. The fucking Spider-Man games on PS5. The first one came out on PS4, but they remastered it for the PS5. But like that, plus like God of Boy, you know? Those are like two of the best games to this day. Like currently. Just story-wise, visually, gameplay-wise, they just do everything perfectly. Same with, Claire Obscure, obviously, the game of the year, 2025, you know? Um, Obviously, that's very good too. I can't think of any games that really captivate the audience as good as those like three have. Aside from Marvel Rivals, I guess. I mean, they should have won some awards too. I think No Man's Sky won the award for like the best like ongoing game or something. And a lot of people were like, "What's No Man's Sky? Why does anyone give a shit about this? Well, isn't that the game that was bad when it came out and no one liked it?" Rightfully so. I mean, yeah, no one liked it when it came out, and it took them like 4 years to give to deliver the package that they promised. But people forget about the story they went through and like Sony buying them and turning them into like a sweatshop basically and whatnot. People just kind of forget that sort of thing. So I think No Man's Sky did deserve that award versus over Marvel Rivals for sure, because No Man's Sky is also just one of the best games ever created. Now, if it was like that when it came out, like in fucking like 2016 or whatever, then probably not at all. The game was ass. But as it stands right now, that game is one of the best games ever. And name another game where there's literally quintillion amounts of planets. There's like to the point it's impossible to visit every single one of them, you know? Like, just show me another game that can do that. And like, it's basically Minecraft in space, so like it does get kind of boring after a bit, to be fair, but just visually itself, just get like screenshots and stuff. It's just so nice. So good. Boy. Still don't like No Man's Sky. Don't hate me. I won't hate you for not liking No Man's Sky. I feel like you should give it a chance, you know? I didn't like No Man's Sky for a long time. Just like how I didn't like Terraria either for the longest time. I only started liking Terraria like recently, and I want to go back to that too. And if you're not into like survival games and whatever, then yeah, I get it, but if you're a fan of like space games and like exploring planets and whatnot, and just seeing like really cool scenery and stuff, then No Man's Sky is great. I set it as hard as possible, which is like permadeath hardcore mode basically. So like things cost more, you have to actually get resources and stuff. It makes it feel a little more impactful, you know? You can make yourself very overpowered very quickly if you wanted to, but like, you know, when you actually get into it, explore some planets and stuff, it's just so cool. No other game really captures that feeling. It won't last forever, but like every update they're coming out with, it just drives you back in again for like, a couple weeks. But again, it is kind of like Minecraft in space, though. Fell asleep while trying to gather materials. I don't doubt it. Yeah, No Man's Sky is not like your typical action-packed experience. That's why I call it like Minecraft but in space, because Minecraft is more about like building and whatnot, and No Man's Sky is more about just visiting planets and scanning stuff to get money, basically. But again, if you can sort of look past that point, it is worth it, at least for a little bit. Again, it's not something you can play for months and months and months on end, unless you just really love space stuff. But I mean, for a couple weeks during that sort of like calm down period that people go through, it's a good time. It really is. But if you're playing something like Marvel Rivals or like Call of Duty or something, then yeah, it's like, wow, this is slow and boring and there's nothing to do. Totally get that. So still see no idea what to play right now. Yeah, no. This video was mostly just for me to talk about, like, the schedule that I want to start on Monday, content-wise. That was the whole main point of this video. I didn't expect to be talking this long. I thought maybe I would, like, do something like Minecraft for, like, an hour or something, just as I'm talking, but no, I just literally been just sitting on the menu, just talking. And I need to go to bed soon, because I have so much to do all the time right now. Why not play an indie game while chatting? Yeah, it's a good idea too. I mean, the whole issue is I don't have money to buy more stuff, you know. And I'm so limited on storage. Even just these four, I only have like 100 gigabytes left, you know. If I had like Call of Duty installed, I would be able to have like one other game basically. So it does kind of suck. But I mean, I guess games like Pokemon and stuff where I'm like I don't really know how to commentate over it would be good times for these style of videos where I'm just kind of talking for a little bit. I never really thought about it like that. Uninstall what? Minecraft? No. Who do you think I am? I mean, I'm not a Minecraft YouTuber. I mean, I used to be when I was a kid, but I'm not anymore. But like, I grew up with that shit, dude. That shit was great. What else do you want me to uninstall, dude? Nothing. I only got 4 options. What do you want me to uninstall, dude? Not Minecraft. Good answer. Good answer. Unfortunately for you, I like all of these, so I mean, come at me, I guess. Tell me why I'm wrong. Debate me on this. I don't really have any other games I can install, though. I got, like, Batman, I guess. That's usually what I do on Halloween, though. And I don't have Game Pass right now, either. Unfortunately. Warframe is Hoagie? Something that you hardly touch. Uninstall some. No. No. Not gonna happen. These are the things I'm currently doing right now. I know it may not seem like that because this was 2 weeks ago, but that's literally what we're doing. Is these plus like the PS2 games that I'm doing, and then I'll figure shit out after that. But that's just where we're at right now, you know. I've done many other things, to be fair, but these are the ones I'm much more captivated in. I know that's what it says, okay? And yes, it's been like fucking 3 months, maybe, since I even made a video on that, but burnout's a thing, okay? You know? As much as I love it, if I have too much of it, I just get burnt out. Which is not good for something that I enjoy doing, to be fair. Warframe's great, okay? Not a sponsor. I wish they would sponsor me, though. I actually love that shit, but I'm trying to do the impossible, like 100% that game before, like, the newest update comes out, basically. Which is something that no one else is really brave enough to do. And, yeah, I can see why. Just as it is. I'm, like, not even at the halfway point of the game, and I've already put in so many hours. Just, literally just grinding. I totally get why no one has tried to do this before. But the rules I haven't set in place do make it possible, but now, again, burnout's a thing, you know. If I feel burnout creeping in, I'm like, oh, this isn't as enjoyable. Then yeah, I got to take some time away. You know, because if I don't do that, then people are gonna know that I'm not enjoying it. And they're like, I don't want to watch this guy be miserable. You know. A beetle costume? I don't think I've seen that yet. I don't know if you know anything about Warframe. It's a very complicated subject to talk about, to even try and explain anything about it. Again, space game, love space. Ninjas, space ninjas did. Badass. Love that shit. The newest update looks fucking amazing, though. Oh my god, we got some like Attack on Titan shit going on. With like a 100-foot long ass sword you get to use. Like, how is that not cool? You know, I mean, is it over the top and dramatic as hell? Absolutely. Does it make sense? Not really, but it looks fucking amazing. Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. I was gonna say, I don't remember people dressing up like Beatles before. But like getting Beatle vibes off of something, yeah, I could totally see that. Don't know, I couldn't name the outfit that would be at the top of my head because I'm not a super nerd like that when it comes to Warframe. For Pokemon or something, probably, you know. If you ask me like what something evolves into or like what level it evolves at, I could probably tell you that. If you ask me what type of attack does what type of damage, I don't know if I could tell you that kind of thing. To be fair, but I'm trying to think of like Beetle-like costumes that I've seen. I can't think of any. No, nothing comes to the top of my head. Must have been funny though if you have no idea what Warframe's about. What about Palworld? Oh, dude, I miss Palworld, man. I was playing the beta of that for so long. I mean, it's still technically in beta, but I played like the early access version of Palworld. Again, I hate myself, so I turned it to like hardcore permadeath, and it's surprisingly very hard. So I didn't get very far every time I tried, to be fair. And that comes with a whole different type of burnout, because you're like, oh my god, I'm just not good enough. But Palworld, I want to get back to if I can buy it, because now it's not free anymore, which sucks. I mean, they have a trial, I guess, but I've been keeping up with updates and stuff, though, and seeing like what they're adding and whatnot. To me, it always was like Ark Survival, but like with Pokemon, basically, is the way I look at it. Which is actually quite enjoyable. You know? I'm sure they added a lot more, so there's like more stuff you can actually do. Because during the, like the pre-release version, there wasn't really much you could do. Like you build a base, you take down some like raids, you try and fill your whatever the fuck is called, their version of a Pokedex, I guess, and to find like the strongest monsters to capture. But like after that, there was like nothing else to really do after that. But I think they expanded it more. I think there's like more islands and stuff you can get to, more creatures. I think more story too. And probably they're coming out with like a farming simulator style game too, like Animal Crossing or whatever. Or maybe that's just a joke because Pokemon's doing that, but I just found that a little weird. But no, they're very passionate, the team that created Palworld. They're very passionate about what they've done. And they plan to do even bigger things, which I'm excited for. Your health is at... Hey, there you go. Yeah, thank God you didn't say fucking 6-7, dude. I'll lose my mind. Tools of Destruction is bizarre. Absolutely. At least from what I've seen when I watched this guy give his opinion on like every single Ratchet & Clank game. Tools of Destruction is very different. If it's the one I'm remembering. I don't remember if that's the one that was like the tower defense version of Ratchet & Clank. That's what it sounds like, to be fair, but I could be totally wrong. I had to ask my friend what the costume is called. Not sure if he'd reply, though. I mean, hey, if he does, good to know. Good to know. I honestly don't know that weird number made sense. That sentence hurt my brain to read that. Do people still know about 69? Is that like a thing, or is like 6-7 taken over? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna feel really old if people don't remember what 69 is. I mean, unless you were a child, then you shouldn't know what that means, I guess, technically, but, you know, for people around my age, it'd be bad if some of us just don't know what that means anymore. That would be good. How was New Year's Eve? Long story. I mean, if you want to hear about it, I got like a 5-hour long video where it's just me talking. I did put something in the background, which is like my Black Ops 3 content in the background as I'm talking, but yeah, no, I just let my mind just run loose. And I explained the past 5 years and whatnot, everything I've been through, so I wouldn't say it was great, but, you know, it was a good talk to express everything and tell the stories that I just haven't really told much of. But yeah, I mean, if you like these videos where I'm just kind of talking, then yeah, you know, you can go check that out. I talked about it at the start of this video too, just like sort of apologizing and whatnot, that it wasn't the typical, you know, best of yearly video or just like the yearly celebration video talking about all the things that went well and whatnot and big hopes for next year and that kind of thing that we're used to. You know, that wasn't the point of that video because, I mean, quite frankly, I have nothing to really celebrate over at the moment. And I think those 5 hours of me talking about the past 5 years really explains those reasons why, but you know, for me it's just another day. Another day, but with just more shit to do. I know, I'm sure that sounds depressing, but that's just the way my life is right now at the moment. Until I can get back to a normal fucking life again. Again, long story. Watch that video if you want to learn the past 5 years and what I've been dealing with and whatnot. If you're into that sort of thing. Or don't. You might hate me. I don't know. You might learn too much or something. But I mean, if you like that too, you can also watch the Year of the Phoenix movie I made about 7 years ago when I went through like the first hardest moments of my life. I literally turned it into like a documentary style movie. So, yeah. You can watch both of those if you need a little something. If you just love the sound of my beautiful voice, I suppose. Then you could do that. But, you know, I mean, it's up to you. I personally wouldn't recommend it if you like me just for being, you know, content creator and whatnot, just playing games and whatever. But I mean, you know, if you want to learn about my past or something, go for it. It's there for a reason. But the Year of the Phoenix movie, though, from 7 years ago, talking about the hardest moments of my life as a kid, and like being homeless and stuff like that, is not for the faint of heart, though, okay? Just fair warning. Like, you probably will cry once or twice, absolutely. And there's like a lot of reading involved like halfway through just because that was just part of it. And there is some jokes that probably are not good to like think about in this day and age anymore, you know, to be fair. There's some like dark humor in there. But again, they were the hardest parts of my life, so I hope people can sort of look past that, you know. Anything I said during that movie, I don't actually mean the jokes I said, you know. I just said it because I was like edgy, depressed guy going through the worst time. So, don't please don't hold me like accountable for anything I said. I didn't mean those things by any stretch of the imagination. I just said it because I thought it'd be funny. And then I look back at it, and I'm like, wow, that is just completely unnecessary and uncalled for. But at the time, that's what people were doing. Like Swagger Souls and stuff, Sort of who I was being inspired by at the time. If you know what I'm talking about, then you sort of know. If you know, you know. But yeah, that's usually on the homepage for people that haven't subscribed yet. And maybe I should change that for people that are subscribed. Because I don't think people that haven't subscribed yet are going to give a fuck about what I've been through because they don't even know who I am yet. Why would they want to be like trauma dumped on out of nowhere, Versus people that are subscribed and they watched some videos or whatever and they've been subscribed for like months or even years. And then they're like, I've watched this guy a lot, but I don't really know much about him. And then it's like, oh, here's this thing that was like 7 years ago that you could watch. Or the video from yesterday. I should probably make that better for people, to be honest. But yeah, it's cool that I turned the hardest moments of my life into a movie, though. Is it Hollywood-style quality? Not at all, but hey, it's something. Something I did. He said the cosmetic is called Mirage Prime. Does Mirage Prime just look like a beetle by default? I hope not. Based off that sentence, though, it doesn't sound like you actually play Warframe, so you wouldn't probably understand what I'm talking about, to be honest, but Mirage Prime is like just a Warframe itself. I mean, there's Mirage and then Mirage Prime. Like, the Warframes have Prime variants of them, but like they're their own thing, basically. But you could technically add like cosmetics to them, to be fair. If that literally makes any sense to you, probably not. Next time I see a Mirage Prime, though, I'm gonna have to remember this beetle thing. See if I can see it. Because if I see it, I probably won't be able to unsee it. But I can't remember Mirage Prime looking like a beetle, though. And he said the thing that made it look like a beetle was the double-bladed toe fans that it carries on its back. That makes a little more sense. Yeah, I can see that as like a shell. Like some wings. Or maybe if he has like a cape or something on, and that would look like the top part of the shell that like opens up. I can see that. You're probably saying all of this and just being like, what are these dudes talking about? Good game, good game, good game. A lot of grinding, though. Too much grinding, some would say. Anyway, holy shit, it's 1 in the morning. What happened? I thought it was just 12:30. It's all good. Hell yeah, brother. I don't know why I say that like I'm an American fucking yeehaw, No offense to my fellow Americans, which is the vast majority of my viewers, by the way. I'm just Canadian. Even though I don't have a Canadian accent and I don't say Canadian things. Which I always found kind of weird. And the fact I'm also French and don't have a French accent is also weird. But maybe it's because I'm part native. I think I'm mostly just native. To be fair, I can't even speak French. I can't read French, I can't write French, I can't speak French. But my mother was French. Like hardcore Quebec French. Which to me is like fake French compared to like France or whatever, but... You don't speak Canadian French? No, I don't. Alaska? I'm not from Alaska. I wouldn't even survive in Alaska, dude. Fuck that. Too cold. Canada's fucking cold too. Oh, Ontario to be specific, but no. I have never left Ontario. I was technically born in Quebec, but then was taken to like the capital of Ontario, basically. And then I just kind of been around. That sounds fucking terrible. I've been around like the area of the capital, like different towns and stuff throughout my life, but no, I never really left at all. I've been to like Toronto, which is close to America, I suppose. That's about it though. I haven't really been anywhere. What do you mean too cold? Do you understand like how minus 40 feels, dude? That's cold, man. Like so cold you will literally die if your skin's exposed for longer than like 5 minutes. It sucks. But like minus 20 with like not a lot of wind? I much prefer that over like plus 30 in summertime. If you're an American, that sounds like I'm freezing to death. Because y'all are in Fahrenheit or whatever. I think like 30 degrees Celsius is the equivalent of like 100 something Fahrenheit, I think. Which is just, I can't handle that anymore. I literally get like heat stroke and stuff. Inside, by the way. Shaded and everything. Have a fan and whatnot. And I just can't handle heat like that anymore. Which sucks. Summer looks good. Nature looks good. But all the bugs and shit, like, come on, guys. Winter just sucks because, like, everything's fucking dead at this point. We have less to worry about than just freezing to death and power outages, I suppose. But no, I think I prefer the cold over just being too hot. Because, like, what do you do when you're too hot? And, like, nothing's working? Like, what do you do at that point? Versus if you're too cold. Just put on more clothes or whatever. Get a heated blanket or something. Start a fire, you know? If you're too hot, it's like, get ice. That's not working? Well, shit out of luck, man. That sounds pretty brutal, too. Minus 60 Fahrenheit. What the fuck even would that be in Celsius, dude? Maybe that's like what it is right now, I don't know, but minus 60 Fahrenheit sounds like the worst thing imaginable. That sounds like the fucking moon, dude. I don't know how cold the moon is, I've never been there. Y'all can let me know, though, if y'all been to the moon. I doubt it, because you'd be like fucking like 100 years old if you did, but... Yeah, sorry, I'm not good with the whole Fahrenheit to Celsius calculations. I don't know how to do that, unfortunately. And I didn't really pay attention in school, if you couldn't tell by how much my English fucking sucks. Even though it's the only language I know how to speak. I don't know big words and shit. Just can't do it. Totally a fault of my own, though. I won't get into that. Fucking my school life is a whole fucking other story in itself that could probably go on for 5 hours. Oh yeah, like cold weather and then adding wind on top of that makes it 100 times fucking worse. Absolutely. No doubt about that. That's why if it's like really, like it seems like it's really cold, but there's not a lot of wind, like it doesn't feel that bad. But as soon as the wind picks up even just a little bit, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking freeze to death out here, dude. Totally get it. Coldest in history, though? I forget what holds that record, to be honest. You might be right, though. That might be the one. This winter hasn't been too bad so far. I don't know how it's been over on the other side of things. Not that most of America really gets much of a winter, I guess. Not that I know much about America either. I mean, my brain is mostly just like Los Angeles and California, I meant to say. And then like Texas and whatnot. That's really about it. Oh, and Alabama, of course. Thanks to good old Joe Biden memes. Can't forget about Alabama. I feel bad for America that Alabama's part of them. No offense to, well, maybe full offense to anyone from Alabama. Y'all do things weird over there. I feel like I know America better than I know Canada, though. Which is kind of messed up, but I mean, that's part of being a content creator, I guess. Because a lot of Americans watch content. And make content. And Hollywood and whatnot, obviously. I feel like most of the world just knows about America things. And I feel like America just kind of wanted that too, to be honest, but... Oh, gosh, no. I can't even name, like, every country in Canada. That sentence didn't even make sense. That's how fucked up my geography is, dude. That's crazy. Provinces and territories. Which are the same things as, like, states, basically. That's why they're the United States. Duh. I don't know why the fuck we're classified as fucking North America, though. I know Trump wants us real bad, but I refuse. Even though Canada and America are basically the same fucking places, just Canada's colder and America's hotter. We have the same fucking foods and shit. Different ingredients and stuff and whatnot, like nutrition facts and whatever, but we share a lot of the same foods and shit all the time. Like, I recently found out that, like, goldfish is like an American product. Even Cheerios is American. I didn't know that. Blows my mind. And I love it, though. I don't love the amount of sugar Americans put into stuff and a lot of the fat they put into stuff, to be fair. But maybe I should watch what I say, considering, again, most of my fan base is Americans. I don't want to offend you guys or anything. We are neighbors, after all. Well, I mean, they're North and South America. Yeah, but why? I failed geography, so I don't actually know, and I didn't pay attention in history either. But, like, for Native Americans, I guess, that would make sense, because Native Americans were, like, here and there first. And then the whites took over. That sentence sounds crazy out of context, but I mean, that's true. I am both white and native. I am the light and the dark side. Great. Does that mean I'm the next fucking Darth Vader, dude? God damn it. Space Hitler. That's not a good look. Not a good image. But I just never understood why Canada's class is North America. Other than, like, part of our land they own, like, the very small amount of it, that's, like, technically, but no, the whole the whole Native American thing would make a lot more sense. Because they were in both places as the settlers. Don't know where the whites came from, though. Were they like, from the UK or something? I guess that's why we speak English, huh? That would make sense. Am I slowly piecing together history, or am I just, like, talking fucking nonsense? I don't know. My apologies. That I just did not pay attention in school very much. Can you blame me, though? The education system's fucked up anyways. I was also stupid. I think I was the only kid in human history to be like, I already know English, so why would I need to learn more English? Dumbass, that's not how English works. Now I don't know. Like, my vocabulary is just not very massive at all. And my writing sucks. My spelling sucks. Maybe history class didn't do so good. No, not at all. I hated history. I mean, it was cool at first, but it got very just... Like, why would I care? You know? I mean, World War II was important, whatnot, but I mean, like, why would I care about, like, the 18th century, the 17th century, fucking whatever? They're fucking long gone and dead. I more care about, like, the mystery of the pyramids or some shit and how those exist and whatnot. Much more into that sort of type of history, rather than, like, country's history. You love history and culture? Ooh. Should watch what I say then. I'm not saying I hate those things by any means. Unless that's literally the words I said 5 seconds ago, but... It just didn't interest me. I mean, culture, I care about culture, for sure. Seeing how, like, every country and stuff is different, you know. But I care more about, like, the mysteries of the world. I don't want to read about the shit that's already fucking happened that everyone probably already knows about. It's cool to know, again, like, you know, World War II is fucking important in today's society to remember that sort of thing. But, like, do we really have to know how, like, the settlers came to be and how they were, like, shaving fucking beaver's skin to, like, make clothes and shit? I don't know. Maybe I'm just offending people by saying that. I have no idea. You like what you like, to be fair. I'm not judging anyone by any means, but I liked science. Science was my favorite subject in school. And obviously doing, like, computer stuff, which I also got kicked out of. I sound like a really bad person when I say stuff like that. It's not like I really did anything wrong, okay? I just didn't show up to school. Mostly due to depression, being bullied, and having a concussion and whatnot, but... Yeah, no, if I just wasn't interested in something, I just didn't want to do it, so I just didn't go. And they hated that. Rightfully so. I mean, it's fucking school, and I am supposed to be there, but... Again, you gotta remember, I started creating content when I was 13, right? 12 years ago, you know? I love learning. I'm like addicted to learning. But it has to be something I am actually, like, I give a shit about and I'm passionate about. Like starting a business or creating content and to do, like, titles, thumbnails, fucking everything. You know, if it's something I'm passionate about, I love learning, dude. I can sit down for, like, fucking months to just learn about something I'm passionate about. But if it's something I just don't really care about, then I'm just not interested in it, you know? I live my own life type of shit. Miles Morales type shit, dude. I'm gonna do my own thing. No matter how it ends. Because I don't know, I just never like to waste time. We don't have forever to live, you know? If I'm just not liking it, then I'm not liking it, you know? So be it. At least I get to fucking make my choices at the end of the day. And that's true for anything in my life. If I'm not liking, like, a meal, or, like, my relationship is just not going well, you know, then I'm just out, dude. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm not enjoying it. Does that make me an asshole? I don't know. I think that just means I have more free will than others, I'd like to think. And that I don't care what people think about me, for the most part. I mean, I care about things they might think about me, you know? If people start thinking I'm like some sort of, like, a serial killer type shit, then that wouldn't be good, you know? Then yeah, then I care about what people think about me in those regards, but, you know, if people want to, like, talk shit or something, I really don't care. I'm beyond that point. I actually didn't do too bad in geometry and history. I never even did geometry. Is that bad? The teacher never taught the students on how dark World War II was because they think it's too much. Like it's history. That's what I'm talking about too. Every time in history class, why are they like censoring everything? Like I get it. It makes people uncomfortable. But it's the same thing that like society tries to do. Where it's like if someone's having like a really bad day and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to hear about it because that's going to make me feel weird." Like we need to not do that as a society anymore, you know? These are real things that happen and like real emotions people feel and whatnot, you know? We need to like bring that back to normality a little bit. It's not to stop trying to like hide shit, like sugarcoat fucking shit. The world ain't perfect. It's beautiful for sure. But humans are messed up fucking creatures, dude. If you think dolphins are bad, look at human history. We are bad. we we are like the worst creatures to ever fucking exist. Not to say me and you are, but like our ancestors and whatnot. I mean, like human history on its own is super messed up for sure. But I mean, I don't think we should be like hiding the fact from people, especially in school of all places. Censor certain words or whatever, you know, sure, but I mean, like full on slavery and, you know, World War II on its own was like one of the darkest events in human history of the recent eras, for the most part, you know. But like, we're always censoring shit instead of getting down to it. And the fact that like pregnant women were murdered and their kids were murdered. Like that's messed up shit, dude. Most people don't even know about that. It's weird. It's weird that they teach history but don't actually talk about it. I always find that weird. It's always like, oh, this was Hitler and he wanted to kill the Jews and whatnot. And they just kind of move on after that. I don't know if that's true for all fucking history teachers, but that's how it was for me too. I always just found that shit weird. Anyway, I'm gonna take another moment real quick and then we're probably going to end it off here because it is getting quite late. I appreciate you guys hanging out and talking, especially when I ran out of stuff to talk about, so I appreciate that. You guys coming in, giving me some more stuff to talk about. Appreciate that. If for some reason you guys are not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Dropping a no, don't even do that. Yeah, just subscribe. You know, watch other videos if you're interested or something. Everyone over on Kick, thank you for sticking around so far as well. You guys can follow and subscribe as well. Much appreciated. Sorry that I can only read one chat at a time, but everyone over on Kick, please understand that I've been doing YouTube for 12 years. They take priority over you guys, okay? I love everyone over on Kick, don't get me wrong, but in terms of community involvement, with how limited I'm able to do things, YouTube is the main priority for sure. Your political side is kicking in. Oh no. Yeah, this is the internet, man. I don't know if that's the place for that. I personally do not care. I could talk about that kind of shit all day long. But the internet might come for you, though, and me, just because I was involved in it. That's also something we need to stop hiding from people, too. Just fucking let people have an opinion, bro. Fuck it. They were supposed to have free will, dude. They try and control us all the time. I'm not gonna get into it. Give me a minute. Sorry again to everyone that we just been sitting at the menu for like 3 hours. I apologize. Again, this video wasn't supposed to be as long as it is. But the title is accurate. I don't know what to do other than just talk. And now I'm at the point where I can't stay awake too much longer. Yeah, and people are getting sensitive on different opinions. That's another part of humanity already failing. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I agree with that full-heartedly. That's what's wrong with our society, dude. I don't want to get into it. I could probably go on for another fucking just multiple hours just talking about that on its own, to be honest. And that would stem multiple different conversations, I'm sure, but we need to stop having that, like, mask shit going on in our society, you know? Like, I understand people want to protect themselves, protect their emotions, and whatnot. You don't want people to hate you for thinking differently or whatever, and people making fun of you and shit, and whatever. But I mean, you gotta know what groups you fit into. You gotta stop just trying to please everyone all the time, because you can't do that. You can't please the whole world. It's impossible. Everyone thinks differently. And the people that do take the mask off are usually happier. Not at first, mind you. It's the whole looking into the abyss stares back at you type shit, to be honest. But I mean, once you get past that point, they're more free-spirited than most people. Free-spirited is an LGBTQ thing, I think. Free-willed, if you will. Free-spirited doesn't align with what I'm trying to say here. If you be different, then you can just be gay, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's true too, I guess. I got nothing against those, you know, gay people and whatnot. Do what you want to do. You like what you like or whatever. I got nothing against it. I'm not part of that, though, by any means. But yeah, no, the whole, like, wearing this mask to fit in type shit, dude. People need to stop doing that, bro. Be uncomfortable. Let people fucking hate you, okay? Let it happen. Just let it happen. Then you know who you can actually trust, who your friends are, who your family is, you know? Then you get to connect with these people more. Talk about shit, hang out, whatever, you know? You're Catholic, I see. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm religious. I mean, you know, I believe in something, for sure. I just don't believe in, like, a physical being of some sort that, like, controls the world and that we can, like, pray to and stuff. Again, I'm not against the idea by any means, but I just... In my personal, you know, just the way my mind is and stuff, if there was a God that existed, why would he want the world to be the way it is? And just looking at, like, human history and whatnot, you know? That's just the way I look at it, though. But I do believe in some sort of, like, higher power within the universe that we, like, resonate with and whatever. Oh, and demons, of course, because I was haunted for a while. Which wasn't fun. But I mean, I believe in spirits and ghosts and shit now, for sure, now that I have evidence with my own eyes. And ears. And, like, physically feeling shit. And having, like, you know, evidence on my body, like scratch marks and stuff. Like, yeah, I believe in that shit for sure. I was a non-believer at first. Like everyone else does, because I'm like, oh, it's just edited videos or whatever, but once you actually see the real thing with your own eyes in your own life, and, like, you can't rationalize it, then it's like, what do? You either just pretend nothing happened, or you accept the fact that something unexplainable has taken place, you know? There's so much about the universe as a whole, not even just our world on its own, but the universe as a whole, that we don't know about, that we can't understand, And our brains were built in such a way that we can't even process these things, which I also find kind of weird, but I think is to protect us in some sort of way, to be honest. But there's a lot about the world we just don't fucking know about, man. I mean, if people don't believe, then that's fine, because we don't force our religion on other people, and we're neutral with everyone. As long as others don't force their stuff at my face, then I'm fine. Yeah, see, I agree with that, you know? Believe what you want to believe, but don't try and force someone else to, like, change their mind, you know? I mean, there will come a day where they, like, question what they believe in, for sure, and I feel like that's part of the process of just growing up and whatnot, but, you know, that's just one thing I agree with, you know? Just let people do what they do, man. Just support them, dude, you know? Not everyone's the same. Not everyone believes the same thing you do. And whatnot. Aside from ghosts and stuff, I mean, like, obviously you can fake that sort of thing, but, I mean, if you see something in your own life, like as physical evidence, then, I mean, you know, you have your proof, basically. But like religion and stuff like that, you know, that's totally different. Totally get it. But yeah, no, I just always been kind of open about the way my process is about it. Totally random conversation, by the way. But it's okay. I don't judge people, dude. I don't got a reason to. Everyone's different. And there's no point judging everyone. And no one's perfect either. Nothing's perfect. Aside from water and oxygen, I guess, or we would literally die otherwise, but... Anyway. Now that we went on a little tangent there, I feel like after this is done, then I do need to go to bed before it gets too late. Because again, you know, with the content schedule and stuff, I would like to do most of the hard things during the majority of the day, so I can be focused, you know, at the prime of the day or whatever the fuck, the pinnacle. And then once things start to slow down, then, you know, make content or whatever. I'm trying to think if there's any last quick topics I can run over, but I don't think there is. I think yesterday and today has really talked about everything. That's like 8 hours of talking in total in just like 2 days. There's really nothing else I could really update people about or talk about or bring up or anything. Unless you just want to hear about my literal existence, then sure, you know, I could totally talk about that, but that's not the point of this video, so I won't do that. Just the fact it took 5 hours yesterday to talk about 5 years is just crazy. But that is quite literally just how much shit I've been through. You know? Imagine that was like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? It'd be crazy. It'd be a long-ass video, for sure. But at this point, combined with yesterday and today, I don't think there's anything left I could really talk about that I could think of. I think I ran over quite literally everything I could think of. Unless I could just recap things, but I also done that already too. So, yeah. Monday. Monday is when content schedule should go into effect, because I need to figure out the social media content schedule as well, because that's a totally different thing. And I don't want my social medias to just be promoting my channel, because that just defeats the whole purpose of having a social media, to be honest. On top of trying to do a million other things every day, of course. But, you know, I ain't stopping until it kills me, so. And then, if all goes well, which it should, because I don't really have any other choice but it to go well. But once we have some paychecks coming in, you know, I'm able to live comfortably for the most part. I'm able to eat healthier again properly and have proper meals again and whatnot. You know, get myself back into shape probably and maybe even upgrade our equipment a little bit more just so we're on par with what it was like back in 2017, which was so long ago we shouldn't even be in this position. Then we can sort of go from there and I can focus more on different things, or I can take days off and just relax a little bit, or even just like hang out with people for like multiple hours, you know? But until then, I just don't want to waste much time. Because I don't have that much time to waste anymore. You know? And some people may look at content being like that's like a waste too, but you do gotta remember, I've been doing this 12 years and it's what I live for and it's my profession to make content. You know? I can teach an entire university fucking lesson, course, whatever the fuck, about just YouTube content, or just content in general. You know? That's like a 3-year commitment right there. To learn just like one topic. But you know, part of being a professional is something, I suppose. Because I literally am, and I know it doesn't fucking seem like it, but if things went differently back in the day, we would be in a much better position. But yeah, once paychecks and stuff start coming in again, then we can sort of move into normality again, and I can actually just relax. And like I said yesterday, even do something crazy, like watch a movie. Ooh, exciting. It's been fucking so long since I've seen a fucking movie, to be fair. But that's just the life I'm living right now, man. I don't know. I don't want to waste time like that. I don't want to just sit down and just do nothing. I don't want to do that. The only time I'm not doing anything is when I'm fucking sleeping. Or when I'm eating breakfast, I guess, is like the second most time I don't do much. Because I'm usually watching like Good Mythical Morning or something like that. But after that fucking meal's done, I get straight to it. To the point I sometimes don't even eat a second or third meal. Because I'm just so focused on trying to do shit. It's crazy. But that's a sacrifice you gotta make, man, if you wanna fucking get out of rock bottom, dude. That's why a lot of people don't make it out. Unfortunately, is the reality of the situation, but I'm not just fighting for myself either, though. I'm fighting for all you guys. Fighting for my family and friends and whatnot to make it out of this alive, so. You know, if I was just fighting for myself, it would probably be a little different. And maybe I would have given up a long time ago. But, you know, for the time being, I'm going to do everything in my power to get my life back to just being normal again, which I know a lot of you just try to run away from because your life just sucks that much, apparently. Even though your life is like normal and good, you have like a roof over your head, eating good meals and shit, you know? And again, people do have it worse than I do too. I never forget that fact, but I would like to just get back to a normal life again. I can't even get a fucking normal job anymore. It's crazy. I won't get into it. If you want to hear the whole yap session about it and talking about the past 5 years and how fucking like life destroying my life has been for 5 years, you can go watch the video yesterday, the New Year's video. It's not your typical celebrating at all because there's nothing to celebrate. It's just me talking about the stuff I haven't really talked about the past 5 years. And that's mostly because there was a shift that happened, you know. I went from being this professional level content creator, growing a great community, to fucking going homeless, getting kicked out of school, having to like pick up the pieces of my life and get somewhere safe, obviously. And then it was like, now I need to like spend time healing and whatnot, and then that just led to more bad things. But 2025 was one of the better years, physically and also mentally. Up and towards the end, mentally wise, I'm like losing my fucking mind at this point, to be honest, but you gotta keep in mind, like, I had sleep issues for 8 years. I was getting so fucking ill every like month or two consistently for like 4 years straight. You know? Like, life kind of just ruined me completely. And I refuse to give up. Most people would have given up by now, but I refuse to give up. I'm keep fucking fighting to set an example for people. And if I die trying, then, well, at least my story's there for people to watch back on. 12 years going on 13 years of my life, which is basically half of my life so far. And the more important ones, too. It's not like you've seen me be like a baby crawling around or anything like that. Like, I started making content when I was 12. Yeah, 12, 13, somewhere around there. I think I say 13, but I actually am starting to forget the exact time period it was, because it was in like December. So it's hard to calculate that sometimes. I try to calculate it based on the first video, but then it's like when the channel was created. It was like the year after that. I just get confused, but yeah, you know, if this story doesn't have a happy ending, then at least my story's there for people to watch back on. If it gets seen after that, you know. But if it has a happy ending, then I hope it's inspiration for people, you know? That you can hit rock bottom multiple times and get back up again. Most people can't do that, you know? I just hope it goes well. Anyway, that's it. I don't want to start talking about what we already talked about yesterday, because it's going to get super emotional and shit, and I don't want to get into it right now. But if you want to hear that whole spiel, again, you can watch the video yesterday. Or if you want to learn about me going homeless the first time and whatnot, then you can watch the Year of the Phoenix movie that I created after I got out of being homeless and whatnot. And little did I know that life would only get worse after that point. So, that movie needs a sequel for sure, now that that movie was like 7 years ago. But, yeah, you know, I don't really have anything to really hide, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm perfect. I'm just not going to do that. I tried to do that back during our peak, back when our community was thriving and everyone was involved with everything and people were looking forward to all my content. You know, and I'm sorry that I let those people down, too, you know? Not that I really have much control over the past, like, 15 years of my life, to be quite honest with you. A lot of it is just responding to trauma and just surviving, unfortunately, but again, it's all there for people to witness, to look back on, or even make fun of me. I don't know, it's up to you, I guess, what you want to do with that information. Anyway, that being said, it's almost fucking 2 a.m., so I need to go to bed. I appreciate all you guys for hanging out, talking. Sorry that it's just been my fucking menu, so this has been one of those fucking, like, one-man podcast fucking things going on. I apologize. I'll try not to do that too much. But I'm just trying to get back into the habit of literally just talking again. I know that sounds weird, but I explained that in the last video too. So I won't get into that, but that's mostly, you know, why I make videos like this. Just to get back into what we used to do, and not just stare at menus. And yeah, everyone over on YouTube, please subscribe if you have not already, if you're watching now or in the future. There's nothing really for you to comment for or like about, to be honest, so I mean, don't really worry about that too much. You can share it if you want to, I guess. But if you want to support my channel and my growth and, like, my future, so I can be in a position, like, get back to the community and whatnot, the best thing you can do on YouTube is subscribe until 1,000. Then subscribing doesn't matter anymore. And just watch time, basically. Like, if you watch a video for 5 seconds, then you just click out of it, that basically sends a signal to YouTube that no one wants to watch this. So if you see something you're just not interested in, don't watch it. Like, I'm completely okay with that. I do so many different styles of content. Like, it's fine if you just see something you don't want to watch. And if that happens for weeks or months, so be it. I'm okay with that. YouTube might not recommend my channel to you when I upload new videos, for sure, because you're obviously not interested. But, if you ever remember me at some point, then you might find something new that you were craving, or something like that. So yeah, that's the best way to support me over on YouTube at the moment. And yeah, again, if you just see something you don't like, just don't bother watching it. I guess some people want to like and comment and stuff and not actually watch the video itself, but that does technically do more harm than good with the way the algorithm is and stuff. So if you see something you don't like, just don't watch it. I'm okay with that. And everyone over on Kick, the best thing you guys can do is just follow and subscribe. That's quite literally about it, since I can't read both chats at the same time. So I mean, if you guys are chatting to me, I can respond because chats stick around for about 24 hours. So I can technically respond if you're able to go back to it again. But to sort of make up for that, I do follow everyone back that does follow me, at least, if I'm able to. I think the first, 3 people show up every time. But once I'm able to re-chat again, then chatting will be more important at that point, and then having multiple viewers at one time, basically. And then we can hit affiliates with Kick, I believe. And then the one after that is partner. And I don't think partner pays you per hour anymore. Maybe it does. I don't know. But y'all gotta remember that I'm over on Kick because I gave up on Twitch, even though we started growing steadily. And I've been doing Twitch for 10 years. But I don't like the way they do things, and I don't agree with the way they are. So I came over to Kick instead. Anyway, thank you all for enjoying on both sides. Appreciate every single one of you. Okay, nighty night. You appreciate that, Crystal. Thank you. Who else was here? Urza, right? Yeah, Urza, thank you for hanging out as well. Everyone over on Kick. I'm sorry that I can't see your names at the moment. But I will follow everyone back, though. And, yeah. That's about it. If you are bored or something, you can watch some of my other videos. I have, over 2,000 videos you can watch. Not all of them are great. Not to say that this is great by any means. This is very low on production value compared to what we were used to back in the day. But, a lot of different styles of content, different series, different games, fucking vlogs, and, everything. So, yeah. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe. Happy New Year again to people, if everything is going well. Or just good day, if this is just another day for you. And, yeah. We'll see what happens later on Friday and this weekend. And then again, the content schedule should be starting to take effect on Monday. Because that gives me time to create the social media content schedule at the same time. Cool. Okay. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe. I'll keep my promise of playing some music for 5-10 minutes or whatever. Because it's usually what I do for my outros. Or I try to do. And then, yeah, then I'm just going to bed after that. So, thank you all, and I'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully.
to big, get it when I flip the switch. I like the feeling when I fucking win. I wanna do that shit again and again and again. I have one speed, no brakes, full send. You know I sink or swim, all the pressure is a friend. I'm attacking and trapped in the depth and I'ma make it happen. I'm the captain, I'm steering the shit straight into the madness. Like a canvas, I'm painting the vision, never going back. And I just wanna fucking ball, push until I got it all. I feel the surge of adrenaline. Come on, I feel the blood pumping yet again. I feel the drive, I just wanna win. I feel the current coursing through my fucking skin. I'm locked in, maxed out, no plan B. I push the chips to the middle, that's everything. Risk it all for the person that I wanna be. Won't stop, that's the version that I'm gonna be. Just happened. This gifts but one subscribers. Thanks for the candy basket. Oh God, another jacket. My stocking's filled with acid. Am I dreaming? What just happened? This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got cold that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. Yeah, let's go. New year, new me, turn it up a new degree. I'm gonna make it to the top if it's the last thing I see. Work hard every day, work hard, then we play. I'll be doing everything in my own damn way. Ain't nobody tell me shit, I'm on top of it. Writing hits that make other people feel like writing hits. We gon' get every little goal that we wanna get. Never quit, we don't even know what it means to quit. Write it down, what you want, what you need, what you see. Everything that you wanna be. Put it out in the world, that's your destiny. In your mind, what you need is to have belief. I'm gon' make it to the top, 'cause I never stop. My own switch doesn't have enough. I think it's broken, I think it's lost. I guess that's why I never take a loss. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down. do it. Make a deal with yourself that you'll get after it. Find something that you love, call it passionate. Or find some passion and leave it behind, adequate. Your journey starts now, time to make it happen then. You could be great, have it your way. Served up like some room service on a nice plate. The high life is only hours a day away from making a change to the life that you chase. New year, new you, new day. Go prove to yourself you could do anything you wanna do. When you set your mind to something big that you choose, break it down to the root, chip away, gotta move. Push past all your limitations. Right now consider this an invitation. Make your worth go up like inflation, and start chasing your dreams, stop waiting. New year, new me, no fear, just be everything you wanna be. Write it down what you see, don't give up, just believe.